set, hey!
Good afternoon, football fans! Here we go, y'all. AFC week is officially underway. I hope you're excited, y'all. Days 1 through 4 of NFC week were absolutely awesome. I'm talking about sounding the thunder, sounding the alarm, hitting buttons I don't even know what the heck they are. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. One half of the NFL has concluded, and the other half is just ready and set to go. I hope you're excited, y'all, because it's time to go absolutely freaking berserk, y'all. We are here talking AFC this week, kicking things off with the AFC South. Here we go, y'all. Today, we're talking about the Tennessee Titans. How dominant are they really? Also, we're getting a little bit on into the next team up on the docket, which is, well, a team that is in total rebuild, I believe. The Texans. Talking, of course, starting things off, talking with our very own Davidson Crooks about his Tennessee Titans. Then we bring on longtime listener and guest here on Three and Out to talk about his Texans, Mr. Chris Ketchum. After that, we're getting on into the Jaguars. We've got a brand new Jaguars fan coming on, and glad to have him, by the way. Mr. Mike talking Jaguars. And then we bring him back in old school guest of Three and Out to talk about this Colts, Mr. Matt. We're going to have ourselves some fun today in the AFC South. I hope you're ready, y'all. Beat your chest and get excited, because football is coming back, y'all. So, with that said, we are ready to go. Oh, yes. From extremely violent to calm and everything in between, you guys. Will the Titans absolutely destroy the division? Will the Texans fall apart and control? Oh, they're not a paper team no more because there's nothing to put on paper, unfortunately. Will the Jaguars make their climb? They got rid of Gardner. I thought that was their boy, but they're just going to pass on Trevor Lawrence. And are the Colts on the up and up? Finally, they have quarterback issues like crazy. Have they found their man in Carson Wentz? You are tuned in live to Three and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, the kickoff of AFC week, right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go. Getting things started off. My goodness, what a day. I mean, seriously, what a day it's going to be. I hope you're excited, y'all, because I certainly am. This is going to be quite the show, because the AFC South it used to be the most open division in the entire NFL. And guess what? It's not anymore. Realistically, just a lot of bad happened, unfortunately, to a lot of teams in there, and a lot of good keeps happening to, a lot of good keeps happening to one team. So however you want to say it, however you want to draw it up or put it, it's just, I don't know. The AFC South is a division that is easy to predict, I think, right now. But seriously, with all the young talent on the other teams, it looks like it could be that wide open division yet again. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is awesome and an honor to be back in front of you here today talking some football. I know for one, I am ready to freaking go. I mean, this has been a wild ride. And yeah, we are officially on day 5 of 8 divisions in 8 days and day 1 of AFC week. For everybody who joined the last week, you guys are awesome. It was such a fun time last week talking with all of you. and all the diehards of the NFC. And well, here we are today talking about this AFC. And yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of good stuff coming up here today and some great guests. And overall, you guys, it's just going to be a fun ride today. So big ups to everybody in the chat room. Got to show some love to everybody. My boy, Taryn Rodriguez. Appreciate you, man, for popping up in here. And Beantown Brandon. Hey, man, we had a great interview this past week. Taryn and I did as well. So both of your respective divisions are on their way. AFC West Day coming up on Wednesday, and AFC East Day concluding the AFC week and concluding the 8 divisions in 8 days as a whole, so that'll be some fun coming up in the next couple of days. Terrence says here early, Gardner Minshew's still on the Jaguars. Well, yes, he is. He says, and he said he has plans to give Trevor Lawrence a run for his money for that starting spot. Well, he better. Homeboy was actually pretty legit in college. He came in. This is his team, and now they turned to a rookie. Like I said, you're going to hear myself and Mike talking a little bit about the Jaguars, and I even say it very plain and simple. Who is going to pass on Trevor Lawrence? I mean, you've got to be out of your mind to pass on this guy if you have the first overall pick. So they want to battle. If anything, you can get either a really good backup if they want to stay, or if either of these guys feel that they're just a real starter in the NFL, well, then absolutely, you can get some trade value, okay? If Gardner Minshew pops out and becomes this amazing starter and continues, I'm not giving my throne to nobody, and he proves to be like this major, he proves to be the guy there, and he really, I'm just saying hypothetically, he really presses it and presses the issue, and it's like, no, this is my team, I'm not letting it go, let this youngster go somewhere else. Well, what if that actually happens, and he's done his homework, and Gardner Minshew turns into this freaking franchise quarterback out of nowhere, and really is the guy that they thought they drafted, last year or 2 years ago, or whenever it was. What if that happens? And then Trevor Lawrence is what? Trevor Lawrence is a heck of a trading chip. You know what I mean? I'm sure he wants to go somewhere and start. Or what if Gardner Minshew just happens to be a little bit washed out because Trevor Lawrence is the real deal as advertised, and now they can get rid of Gardner Minshew, get some good trade value for him. I don't know how much trade value they get out of him, because once again he has to prove himself now. Where he had a chance to prove himself, a lot of NFL teams would be like, So I feel like right now. Right now this is somewhat of a thing. So Terrence is here. Minshew unfortunately got benched for the giraffe neck himself, like Lennon, and eventually Jake Luton. So poor Gardner. Well, I'm just saying. Let's just say he comes in and makes it happen. I guess it's already happened. I have no idea. Terrence knows more than me apparently. So there you go, Terrence. But like I'm saying, at the end of the day, how is it going to work? We'll find out. So that's a touchy situation going on in Jacksonville. We'll find out. With that said, is the man really, is Wentz really the man in Indianapolis? Maybe he need to change scenery. I know that he was not the man in Philadelphia, and I know that he's definitely going to go somewhere else and, try his luck somewhere else. Well, guess what? He did exactly that. He is now a Colt. Can he make things happen? The Colts have no idea what's up, down, left, or right now. They don't know where they are, what they're going on. So I feel like right now, this is their best shot, and why not? When nothing else is working, let's just, trade for Carson Wentz and see if he works out with us. Might as well. They have nothing else going for them. They have a really good defense, some pretty good receivers, but the guy at the, in the backfield, who are they going to have back there? So might as well just throw their hat in the ring for a quarterback that, was not too bad, that, maybe needs a fresh beginning. So good job there. The Texans, we have no idea. You'll hear Chris talking a little bit about Deshaun Watson not being happy there no more and wanting to get traded and all these things, and that team's falling apart. JJ is gone now. They lost Hopkins. I mean, it's so much. So what is going on in Texas, or for the Texans? And then we're talking also, like I said, the Tennessee Titans. You'll see Davidson in a few minutes here, or you'll hear Davidson talking about his team and how strong they really are. And realistically, I mean, I'm going to just say it now. I mean, I'm giving the division to them. It's no secret, guys. It's not. I don't think anybody is going to give the division to anybody but the Titans. It's really not a secret unless one of these teams pop out and do something amazing. Regardless, Terrence says Gardner Minshew to Washington or Atlanta. That could be interesting. Ryan, I mean, who knows how many years he's got left. Washington, I mean, they got quite the issue at quarterback right now, so we'll see what's going on. Beantown Brandon, before the draft, there was a point where I wanted Carson Wentz for my Patriots. Well, Belichick, I mean, hey, the guy can take, a lot of different players and do some things with them. So, I'm not saying Carson Wentz is a bad receiver. I mean, a bad quarterback. I'm not. I'm just saying change scenery could have been big, or it would be big for him. of really anybody. So with that said, you guys, that will do it for the introduction. Oh, we got so much to get into today. It is going to be a lot of fun. So with that said, we're starting things off with the Tennessee Titans, talking with our very own Davidson Crooks of IE Sports Radio, hosting Fast Break here every Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern with Montarius Locke, who talked Buccaneers, his championship-winning Buccaneers last week here on the show for NFC South Day. And, of course, Davidson Crooks, the host of the Crooks Podcast. The Crooks Process Podcast. You can catch that independent podcast away from my sports radio, but awesome stuff as always. Got to show them some love. So with that said, Terrence says AFC South will boil down to the Colts and Titans. I don't think so, Terrence. I think it's just going to be the Titans. He says if the Titans do trade Watson for cheap, do they go 0-16? That is, or 0-17 now, Taryn, don't forget. Overall, man, I can tell you right now, that's very possible, Taryn. I hate to say that about them, but my goodness, if they get rid of him, that's really all they have. There's not much left here. They have to have that yard sale, that everything must go, or moving sale or whatever, because, you're right on with that. And, overall, you guys, I just feel like the Colts could come down to those two teams, but then again, the Jaguars, I mean, they're actually pretty complete. What if Minshew, or I'm telling you, don't count out the Jags. So, I don't know. This is a lot to get into in this episode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, I know, Taryn, it's 17th game, stupid. But with that said, brother, everybody listening, thank you so much for tuning in today. Here we go, ready to rock and roll. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, the kickoff of AFC Week, AFC South Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Stay tuned, y'all. My interview with Davidson Crooks is coming up next, with Davidson Crooks about his Titans is coming up next right after this.
Lay down music.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well. Here we go. AFC Week is officially underway, and here we are on Monday, July 26th, though this interview was being recorded yesterday on Sunday, July 25th. We are getting ready to start this week. Actually, the week is already begun. So, we finished up with the NFC last week and NFC week, and AFC week is here, fresh and ready to go. So, 16 teams down in the NFL. We have 16 to go, and team number 17 is ready to rock and roll. Here to start us off with the AFC South, and of course, kick off AFC week, I have a diehard Titans fan here, and I'm glad to call him one of our own. Ladies and gentlemen, he is host of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio. He'll be coming up later on tonight, even though the show was last night. If you're listening to the show live right now, which is confusing everybody, but it's always fun talking about the time stuff because of the pre-recordings. But ladies and gentlemen, he is one half of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio. We talked last week to his co-host, Mr. Dentarius Locke, of course, Buccaneers fan, who they won it all last year. Well, 1 week later, we're talking to his co-host here, and glad to have him here. He's also host of the Crooks Process podcast. That's his very own podcast. Not affiliated with IE Sports Radio, but we definitely support him in that, and we support that show. He's had it before Fast Break, you guys. So such a diehard, and just glad to have him here, man. I'm glad to call this guy part of the IE Sports Radio family, as I am the entire family. And man, just glad to call him a great friend, just a great person overall. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here, diehard Titans fan, talking a little football for a change-up, not basketball, on the IE Sports Radio airwaves here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the one and the only Mr. Davidson Crooks. What's going on, Davidson? How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing today, Larry?
I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm glad to have you here today, man. You're the kickoff, man. The Titans are kicking off AFC week, man. How you feeling?
I've been doing pretty well. Titans kicking off AFC South week, AFC South in general. A lot of buzz, in Nashville about the Titans, and I'm very excited about the upcoming season. So I'm ready to knock out this preview today.
I'm with it, man. I'm excited. Let's get right into it, man. So with that said, starting things off here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about last season. The season before, I was so high on Vrabel, and this team was, I think you guys were in the freaking AFC Championship, man. You guys went almost all the way. You guys were doing great. And then last year, y'all fell off. Like, it wasn't bad fall off, but my gosh, I was not expecting. I was expecting you guys to go to the bowl, man. Like, you guys looked good the previous year. Last year, a little bit of a hiccup, but it's okay. This year could be the corrector and the change up you guys needed, and I'm just saying. So with that said, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about last season, man. Give us every raw emotion you felt throughout the season last year for the Tennessee Titans.
Going back to last season, you're going through the off season. You making a whole bunch of changes and whatnot with the team. Going back to the last off season, how much money you going to tie up with Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, and how they're going to impact, improving the team and whatnot. Well, let me kind of go back a little bit. Well, just that time, Jarrell Casey's gone, a cornerstone on that team for many years. You let him go. Dean Pease, he kind of quote-unquote retired. But, some of the stories has come out, since then that he didn't really want to leave the team. So, those two things kind of factor to things. But you come this past season, okay, Tannehill came in, shook off, the bad juju from Miami, played very well. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, a decent 1-2 punch in the league that didn't get talked about a little bit enough. And of course, and then plus Derrick Henry as well. And then, the growth of John Smith, how much a leap he can take as well. The solid offensive line and whatnot. So, you come to this season, a lot of expectations. You didn't know how the coach will look with Phillip Rivers being at his age. The Jaguars, can they still ride the momentum, guard a miscue and whatever, and maybe turn that to a surprise? And then I think nobody really expected the Houston Texans to fall off. So, throughout the course of the season, you were just back and forth with coach all season. But I think, for this team, I think despite not reaching full potential like you mentioned, you did show some signs of progress in certain areas. Despite, being the first team in the NFL to have the COVID issue, kind of like in the case of the guinea pigs in a sense, because, you know, we still don't know about all the deals of COVID. And, you know, for everybody to throw the Tennessee Titans on the bus, you know, you got to think about it. You know, everybody knew the deal when you signed up to play. And, you know, once the Titans kind of shook that off, came back on that, I think, Tuesday night against Buffalo, I think they, you know, set pretty good. You know, do I wish the defense would have played better in the season? Yeah. You know, what I alluded to about DPs and Trey Redrell, Casey, you know, didn't help things. You know, going after, you know, waiting to the midnight hour to get Jadavion Clown. On first, you know, it looked good, but, you know, it didn't pan out so well. And then, to add on that, you damn near gave $10 million to Vic Beasley, and he didn't do nothing for your team. And you cut him after that dreadful Cincinnati game, in which they made wholesale changes to that defense. And I know you don't bet Vic Beasley well because he signed with our Raiders after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, you know, like Vrabel and John Robinson kind of looked at things and thought, well, if we do subtract this for that, will our team be better defensively? Because offensively, we're great. A.J. Brown, great again. Corey Davis almost had 1,000 yards himself. Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards. Tannehill, great year. You know, I think Jonathan Smith, if the injuries to Taylor Lewan didn't happen, I think he probably better have offensive numbers. But, you know, defensively, this defense, I mean, this team took a step back badly. Where Rashad Evans didn't play as well, you know, as I hope, you know, coming around this time now. And he still having pass coverage issues like he has had at Alabama. And that still carry over into the league right now. Kevin Byers kind of took a step back. You know, McCall was kind of hurt, you know, his lineup, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, you know, you take a great offense and bad defense. Yeah, you have success in certain points in the season, but at a point, you know, we think, you know, your defense should take advantage, like that Cincinnati game, which I think they saw like four new offensive linemen, and you can't take advantage of that. It's gonna be a more to hurt. And going to that, I'll wrap this up here. Going to that AFC wildcard game against Baltimore. It's kind of funny. Defense played played pretty well, but the offense didn't show up. And we'll probably talk later on this, in this preview, you know, the depth of our receiver, it kind of showed in that game as well. Once Corey Davis went out with his injury, you only had A.J. Brown, and after that, you just got a bunch of dudes. And, you know, and sometimes Derrick Henry can't help in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Lamar Jackson, you know, did what he did. You know, I always contend that he was due for a win in the playoffs, and it happened and came against us. So, you know, going back to this past season, the offensive numbers, great, all that stuff. But I think that the defense was like kind of what it was the year before. Could we talk about Super Bowl, maybe AFC Championship again? Possibly. But, you know, as you talk down this preview here, I think, you know, they made some changes to that defensive philosophy.
I love it, man. I mean, overall, great stuff from last year. Very in-depth analysis, and even getting a little bit into this offseason, man. So let's go ahead and make that transition. But great stuff as always, Davidson. So I'm glad to have you on the show today, man. So with that said, free agency. My goodness, you guys. It was a roller coaster, in my opinion. You guys had some interesting pickups, man. Some tough drops, some good pickups. You guys kept some good players. So overall, man, let's take a quick look here, courtesy of overthecap.com. So the big one, of course, let's just address the elephant in the room. Julio Jones, man, comes over from the Falcons. Huge pickup there. Bud Dupree. If that defense wasn't already good enough, man, you guys bring over Bud Dupree. That is amazing. This dude is a damn dog, man. I am so excited to see him get on over there. I know you guys did lose Jadeveon Clowney. I really don't know how you feel about that, but I do know that he is a head over to the Browns, and I know that Andrew, of course, Andrew Hagenball, our Browns fan here at High Sports Radio, the host of the State of Ohio Sports and the Soccer Scoreboard Show. He's pretty hyped up for Clowney heading over to Cleveland to play for his team. Malcolm Butler, in my opinion, pretty big loss, heading over to the Cardinals. You also lose Adam Humphrey going to Washington. And Janoris Jenkins comes over from the Saints. You guys will lose DaQuan Jones heading over to the Panthers, as well as Corey Davis going to the Jets. Danico Autry will head on over from the Colts. I mean, just a lot of big pickups, man. Adoree Jackson, that was a big one in my opinion because the guy is such an amazing athlete. I'm a big USC fan, so of course I'm a fan of his. But going over to the Giants, just a lot of different moves moving around here, man. So excited. I'm not going to get into all of these moves, but you also did keep some great players. Jeff Swaim, I thought was pretty cool. Sombrero, keeping him. Ty Sombrero at right tackle. Yep. I mean, you guys made some good stuff here, some good moves. I'm not going to go into everybody, but with that said, man, go ahead and talk about some of your biggest departures and some of your biggest pickups from this past season and why.
Let me go to the coaching staff real quick. Officially, our new defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, is taking the helm. Now, over the course of this past season, like I said, we let go of Dean Pease, and Vrabel himself said he's going to call defense plays. But also, of course, of the offseason, his outside linebackers coach, Shane Bowen, is going to call plays. And then, talking about the defense, Kevin Byard said, there was confusion, who's like really communicating, who's the head communicator and stuff like that. So, that maybe contribute to some of the defensive woes. But I think that's probably the main thing there because Vrabel is kind of dug his toes in the sand for this dude, for Shane Bowen. And, from what I read from national media and stuff like that, they claiming, Vrabel, Bowen, to John Robinson say, hey, it's not the scheme that, is not great. It's the players that we had. So, you brought the cuts like Malcolm Butler, Adoree Jackson, Daquan Jones, Clowney, Beasley. I feel like I'm missing somebody else. Vaccaro, those guys, in their eyes, won't contribute well to the scheme. In their words. So you come into this offseason, yes, you need a pass rush bad. So we now got, Bud Dupree. Great pickup. We'll see how it comes off the ACL. Danico Autry, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Very good pickup as well, alongside that line going along with Jeffrey Simmons, which they desperately needed right there. Another solid pickup from my eyes, Josh Reynolds from the LA Rams, who, if they didn't get Julio, I think I'd hire him in Cool Whip as the number 2, going on with A.J. Brown, and see how he would be as his wings kind of spread out more. Because, he was kind of number 3 role in L.A. for the past couple years. If he came in being the number 2 in Tennessee, could he kind of flourish out and be that guy, being that, all 6'4" of them and all that. But I like that pickup as well. So, and then also getting Jack Rabbit Jenkins. You keep Jayon Brown in the fold. So you see the wholesale changes in the defense. All the cuts, the new guys bringing in, and I'm pretty sure we talk about the draft here in a little bit, but you know, that's the real main thing. The defensive corner, Shane Bowen. Can he, along with Vrabel, and have these changes in all season, contribute well for this team up for the upcoming season? Because, you know, adding Julio to the mix will help flush out that offense even better.
I agree,
but
man.
Can the defense, with the additions, with the coach now entitled and defensive coordinator calling the plays, can they match up with what we could potentially see with this offense this season?
I mean, that's a big question to answer, man. That's a great way to transition on into this draft because overall, man, the Titans, man, you know what? The draft was pretty solid. I really enjoyed this draft for you guys because I feel like I've heard it last week of, you know, not getting what you want, get what you need. You know, so you guys made some picks that I feel like are exactly what was needed with this team. So first things first, man, courtesy of Pro Football Talk at NBCSports.com, Caleb Farley. This was a great pickup, man. Virginia Tech's own Caleb Farley. The guy is definitely, he was one of the best corners in the entire draft. One of the best corners in college last year, and just I thought this was a great pickup for you guys. He's gonna look solid out there, I think, in this defense. Dylan Radins out of North Dakota State. I mean, we all know we're just waiting for the dang transition for them to jump up to D1 single A because North Dakota State is just dominant, and I know for sure they can compete somewhere. Put them in the Big 12, man. I mean, they're why not, right? I mean, my gosh, man, I think they can compete. They're a good football team, man, and you guys got this young man with the 53rd pick. Big boy, man, big tackle there, so I like that. Monty Rice, linebacker out of Georgia. Don't forget, man, Georgia produced Raquan Smith, so those backers out of Georgia don't play. I like this, man. You guys picked up some good athletes here. I'm not going to go into everybody, but go ahead and talk to us, man. Tell us all about your thoughts on this draft, what you think, what players they're going to do, what roles they're going to fill, and, of course, give us a overall grade if you'd like.
All right. For Caleb Farley, going, you know, for the Titans' first pick at 22, I don't know if you probably agree with this or not, but I think if the back issues wasn't there, he'd probably been the first corner off the board.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Mm-hmm. You know, well, time will tell on that. But if his back is good to go and the speed that he has with his height, I think the Titans got real steal there at 22.
They did.
And then, you know, and going to the second-round pick, Dylan Radins, I don't know if they would make this pick if Isaiah Wilson, you know, had his head on straight.
Yeah.
You know, and Isaiah Wilson, the person I didn't really talk about, and the stories that were and were not reported, that's a whole different ballgame there. But, you know, would this pick be, would he be selected if Isaiah Wilson was still in the fold? I don't know. Maybe not. But you kind of had to replace Wilson for his troubles and stuff like that for another offensive lineman. Not a bad pick. I like the pick. You know, we'll see, you know, if he come in and win that right tackle job and kind of be that staple there for the next few years. Round 3 pick, Monty Rice. I think this is maybe more of a pick replacement for Jaylen Brown, depending on how the season goes for him. I mean, you still got Rashad Evans. So either one of those guys, however the season goes, continues to, Rice should be there for the future, for a future starter spot. And then just kind of, you know, Elijah Moten, another guy I think a lot of people like, good bulldog type of, you know, defensive back out of Washington. And then I'll just go to 4th-round picks real quick. Desiree Patrick, wide receiver out of Louisville, probably come in and compete for that 4th, 5th position. They gave a lot of picks to get him, so he's got to come in and try and win that fourth spot or fifth spot job in my eyes. And then Rashad Reaver, outside linebacker, defensive end out of Pitt, you know, a guy that may not kind of be a starter down the line. Could he play on the line? Can he play on the edge? We'll see. He kind of like the same build of Mike Vrabel in a sense. You know, kind of being like big enough to be in, but can play outside linebacker. So, you know, we'll see how his playing time goes over the course of this season. But, you know, those first picks in the first 4 rounds, I like. Their depth picks. And also, like I said before, it goes back to that remodeling of that defense. You got 2 corners in the first 3 rounds. You know, a defensive end in the 4th round, a linebacker in the 3rd. So it goes back to remaking that defense. And these guys, when healthy, come in and contribute well for this team, for their overall success.
I love it. You guys really do have a solid core of players right now. And honestly, man, just adding a few more of these guys, man, it's just awesome to see. So with that said, let's take a quick look here at your guys' depth chart right now. Let's take a look at moving into this season. So with Ryan Tannehill right now is leading the charge. Logan Woodside, don't forget Deshaun Kaiser sitting back there too. Derrick Henry, we know no one's taking that crown, man. The King Derrick is a guy. King Henry, man, he's a force to be reckoned with, man, on the field. But Darrison Evans as well, sitting back behind him. AJ Brown, and let's see here, Des Fitzpatrick, of course, Julio Jones, Josh Reynolds. You guys got some solid receivers. Let's see here, tight end Anthony Ferkser, I believe. Let's see. I remember hearing that name before. I don't know too much about him. But Kyrie Blasingame, I believe, at your fullback. We have a solid offensive line, man. You guys added Dylan Reduns, and he's here. So it's like, can he, will he step in and be a starter immediately? They have him on the depth chart starting. So also, you guys have Roger Saffold, solid left guard. Ben Jones, Nate Davis, Tyler Lewan, of course. I think that's the most familiar name here. Tyler Sambrello is also there on that offensive line. So pretty solid offensive line. Then you guys have that classic 34 attack defense. Jeffrey Simmons, Tyler Tart, as well as Nico Autry. Now that addition is just great to that defensive line. Linebackers. Jayon Brown, Rashaan Evans, and now Bud Dupree being thrown at outside backer. Interesting. Now we take a look at the secondary. Janoris Jenkins, solid. Amani Hooker, solid. Kevin Byard, solid. Now you have Caleb Farley, solid. I mean, seriously, this is a pretty dang good defense. Offense is solid, but the defense, I'm really liking it, man. So overall, what do you think? What do you think right now going into the season? Tell us all about it, Davison. Tell us what you think this team will be able to do this season.
Looking at the depth chart, let's go offensively real quick. I think quarterback Ryan Tannehill, been very consistent since he's been starter of the Tennessee Titans. So I think that should continue this year, along with the addition of Julio Jones. You know, seeing the videos of him, you know, doing team drills, you know, with the Titans, it's a beautiful art. The work ethic, all that stuff, it's going to be a beautiful thing. And to go along with A.J. Brown, you know, Brown, who grew up liking Julio watching his game, you know, so I think he's going to try to take his game to the next level. So that 1-2 punch right there, it's going to be killer for the teams this year. And like I said, I mentioned like Josh Reynolds, third receiver, big receiver. That trio right there is going to be killer. The only weakness, Larry, on this offensive team is probably tight end. You mentioned Anthony Ferkser. He's a very solid tight end. A good 2-3, you know, on a very stacked team. As a one, I would like to see his blocking be improved to be a very complete tight end. I think if he can help with the run game, stuff like that, you know, contribute to that way, now you really see a real balanced team. But I think if you pick out one weakness in that offense, tight end. Granted, yes, First can get you yards. Yes, he's a good, possession tight end, pass catch tight end. But can you do the other things, stuff like that. And then, you mentioned about the offensive line. Hopefully Taylor wants back for the ACL injury pretty well. I think the other stars should be doing well. Right tackle, if you go with Dylan Randons or Kendall Lamb, who you got from Cleveland. Other than that, offense is solid. I like to see more from Darrington Evans this upcoming season. If you can come in and contribute very well for this team, I think it would go a long way, kind of preserving, the health of Derrick Henry throughout the course of this season. And the defense, Tyre Tate, when he plays, when you go back and watch film, he pops out. Like the times I watch him play and go back and watch some games, when he's in, he pops out in film. He's like, oh, okay, you pop out. And I think he's a guy who'd be probably competing for the nose tackle job. I think he should get it just the way I hope, the way he plays, and he continues that mean streak and stuff like that. If to go along with him, Autry, Simmons, you got a solid group right there. Linebackers, kind of somewhat of the weak point at points during the season. But can these guys kind of regroup things? Harold Landry played a lot of downs this past year. Mm-hmm. So with the added stuff of Bud Dupree, going along with Weaver, can you spell him a little bit and kind of get more out of him with more rest? Evans and Brown in the inside, hopefully they'll kind of come back stronger this year. But Dupree, if he's off the ACL pretty good, I think he contribute great for the team. And then going to the secondary, a guy I forgot to mention, second round pick from LSU last year, what's his name? Christian Fulton. Can he take a step up this year? There's a guy that I think going to last year's draft was kind of like that tweener first round pick, second round pick. Now he fell to us late in that second round last year, and he missed some games due to injury. Can he come in and show that he has star potential down the line? Because you remember, Jenkins signed a 1-year contract. So after that, you're going to depend on these young pups like Farley, Bolton, Moulton, Chris Jackson down the line. Can he do that? Byard, I think, he kind of disappointed in a sense last year. He didn't play up to snuff, so hopefully he'll come back and bounce back, play strong. Amari Hooker from Iowa, above his game. I think he will find into that safety spot pretty well. And, hopefully be no loss there after losing for Carl. Special teams, Brett Kern, best punter in the league, in my opinion. Kicker, I don't know who they may be. And that's kind of like a wait and see what happens there.
Well, with that said, Davidson, man, this has been great. I'm telling you, man, your analysis is unmatched. I love how you go in depth with everybody, man. So this is the last segment, of course, and I know you're going to have some fun going into depth with this one. Maybe a little, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know your style, brother, but I do know this is the fun one, man. So you got 3 other teams in the division that I know you're not too fond of. I know they're not too fond of you guys. So you can go ahead and talk about how you think those 3 teams will do this season, and then of course tell us how you really feel about those other 3 teams, man. So without further ado, Davidson, stick it to him.
I think this division is I'll say not ours for the taking. My only concern, and it's a weird division in a sense, like you don't know what's going to happen. In a sense, we've seen reports. We're recording this on Sunday, but we've seen reports today that Deshaun Watson is going to show up to camp, but he still wants to be traded. So you got that cloud over in Houston, what they're going to do with him. That's a big question mark. And then, in Houston, I know they traded for Anthony Miller on a Saturday, but other than that, it's just like the moves they made, the draft picks they make. I don't know where they're going as a franchise. So I'm not really sweating them too much because the Sean Watson situation is just, it's a big mess for them right now. And they really have no backup plans, and they get ready to draft capital for the next year or so. So I'm not really worried about them right now. Jacksonville, very intriguing. I'm curious to see what Urban Meyer does with that team, with Trevor Lawrence, the running backs they have, the reshape of the defense for them. I'm curious what they do. I think they'll be record-wise improved, but I don't think they be up in playoff contention yet. But it kind of depends on Urban, how long he stays and wants to develop, in the NFL. Or he goes sniffing out west with your USC Trojans if what's his name don't, kind of shape up.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. And then the Indianapolis Colts. If Frank Wright can get Carson Wentz back to who he was about a couple seasons ago, kind of watch out for that team. Offensively, they've got one of the best offensive lines in football. The tight ends are solid with Doyle and Elvis and crew. Receivers, they're young, but they are coming along very nicely. Defensively, though, I think that'd be a Achilles heel for them. Did they improve enough to kind of match what the Titans did? Because they were in the hunt for Julio. I don't know if some of y'all know this, but they were in the hunt for Julio Jones too, and the Titans beat them to the punch. So that's I think another reason why I think Tennessee had. I know why they did it, but another reason why was because Indy still had a lot of cap room, and they could have added Julio Jones. And good play by Tennessee to jump on that to add that Julio to the team and keep him away from Indianapolis. But if Carson Wentz can come in and play well for the team, it may spell a lot of trouble. But if his head ain't there mentally, then I'm not sweating really none of these teams right now. So if I got to get a prediction for the Titans this year, give me 12 or 13 wins.
Davidson, I love it, man. You're a class guy. You're a class guy. The words he said was, I don't really care. I'm really still threatened, basically. I don't really care about none of these teams. That's it. You talked positives about everybody and their growth instead of throwing shade at them. I love that, man, because you just the confidence. I just spoke with Patty Bax a little bit ago. She'll be on our Thursday show, but she was very confident too. Not a lot of trash talk, just fun, good, confident. I'm loving it, man. So with that said, great stuff as always, Davidson, man. That's gonna do it for the show, man. But for the segment. But man, thank you so much for being here today, man. Please let everybody know where they can find you, of course, where they can find all your shows that you do, the Crooks Process, and Fast Break, and anything else you'd like to share, man. Where can all these diehard Titans fans find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Spawn4288. That is Spawn4288. Also, I'll do another show on the side called The Crooks Process. Please follow me there on Facebook and Instagram. That is The Crooks Process. You'll see the CP logo as the profile picture. Also, Fast Break here on IESportsRadio.com. Please follow us on Twitter at Fast Break at IESR. Me and Don Terry Scott go live every Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. All things basketball from preps to the pros. So please join us live every Sunday. Get all your basketball knowledge in there for an hour.
It's amazing, y'all. Trust me, this is one of the best shows. As he says in the drop, best show this side of the Mississippi. I mean, no best basketball show this side of the Mississippi. I love it, man, because you guys really are. You guys are amazing, man, and it's incredible. It really is incredible what you guys do, man. It's an honor to have you both a part of this team. So with that said, thanks again, Davidson. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this show and kicking off AFC week, brother. So take care, man. God bless you and your family, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll get you back on the show very soon, man. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Anytime, brother. Take care.
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem, man. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Davidson Crooks, gotta show him some love. That is how you kick off AFC week, man. Gotta show him some love. So with that said, go ahead and give Davidson his show a follow. Give him a listen, man. Great stuff as always. Quick process, fast break, all those great stuff, man. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for the kickoff of AFC week right here on AFC South Day. Coming up, we got plenty more AFC South coming your way. You're listening to 3 Now, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, the kickoff of AFC week right here with the AFC South right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' the NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' the NorCal Sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' the NorCal Sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, AFC South Day. We're kicking off the AFC week, that is, of course, with the AFC South. One team down. We just finished talking Titans with Davidson Crooks, and here we are now talking the second team of AFC week and the second team of AFC South Day, the Houston Texans, with none other than a true diehard listener here at IE Sports Radio. The guy's awesome. He's there whenever we call him. I'm definitely going to nominate him this year for the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame because you definitely earned that, brother. And we're glad to have you aboard here listening to us and always wanting to be on the show, man. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming for his up-team time here at IE Sports Radio, talking about his Texans, Mr. Chris Ketchum. What's going on, Chris? How you doing today, man?
Pretty good. I'm actually leaving the beach right now, so I'm always ready to talk now.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Really glad you enjoyed yourself out there at the beach. I did not know that. My apologies. So you know what, Chris? We'll keep this as short and sweet as possible. Sound good?
Good.
All right, man. Let's do this thing, Chris. So let's go, man. We are ready to rock and roll talking about last season. So the Houston Texans have had their ups and downs. They have had some rough terrain with that. I mean, seriously, man, it has been hard with some of you guys. I mean, some of the departures have been tough. Last season was a rough one. I think you guys are in full rebuild mode. I mean, new coach, all kinds of things going on over there, man. So with that said, talk to us about last season and those Texans, Chris.
Well, last season, remember, we lost Hopkins, we lost Miller, we lost a bunch of key weapons here. And we basically had no run defense. Remember, the very first game of the season was against the Chiefs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. As soon as they started, we thought we had a Tyreek Hill. Okay, we got some good cornerbacks. They're not the best, but we thought, okay, we'll just cover Tyreek Hill, and we're good. No, they started running with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and we realized, oh, wait, this isn't good. And then the very next game, we had to go against the Ravens, and they had a top-tier run game also. And then the rest of the league saw that and said, oh, look at this. They have some terrible run defense. I wonder what we're going to do to stop them. So everyone has ran the ball on us. We didn't really get to see a lot of what the pass defense can do because no one threw the ball against us.
It was a different world last year. I'll tell you that. You guys had some tough departures, man. Some good pickups, but some tough departures, man. Of course, let's address the elephant in the room. J.J. Watt, man, that was a tough one. He's on his way to the Cardinals. You guys will keep David Johnson, which is great, but Nick Martin, your guys' center, is over to my team, the Raiders. You got Shaq Lawson coming on over, though, however, from the Dolphins. Benerick McKinley will be on his way over to the Dolphins. You guys will acquire Marcus Cannon, right tackle. I mean, the list goes on, man. Tyrod Taylor will make his way over to the Texans. You guys will end up picking up some pretty solid athletes, I think, overall. But, man, I mean, it's just the departures were there. Some key pickups were there. But I want to know all about what your thoughts are, man. I'm not going to go on too long. It's a pretty long list of departures and pickups here with the Texans, like a very long list, courtesy of overthecap.com. So go ahead and tell us, Chris, who were your key departures and some of your key departures and your key pickups and why?
Oh, definitely losing JJ was a huge hit. But on the other hand, no, he's been playing since 2011, and he's had, 3 season-ending injuries? I mean, props to Colts picking him up, but I don't know how long he's going to stay in the league. So losing JJ as a locker room leader definitely hurt us. But as far as on the field, yes, he puts up sacks every now and then, but he hasn't stayed healthy for an entire season. So I don't know if that was a as huge a hit as people think it is for the Texans. Like locker room morale, yes, but on the field, not so much. Some of the other defensive parts we lost were McKinney, huge. He was a huge hitter there. He was a huge part of the defense we needed. We lost him. I think we got like a third-round pick or something for him. So we've definitely lost a lot of pieces, but gained a bunch of other pieces. So the pieces we lost were bigger than the pieces we gained. I think we got quantity over quality. I feel like we got quantity over quality. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. The defense is definitely better than last year, I'd assume. But is it as good as 2012 team? Is good enough to be in the playoffs? I don't know yet.
Well, I can definitely agree with how this team was solid at one point, but it's true, and I agree with what you said about J.J. Watt. I'm a huge fan of him. I love what he did for the Hurricane, the relief, raising all that money. I love what he's done. He's a leader in the locker room. I love his work ethic. I love his diet is amazing. I saw that thing. It's crazy. He eats a lot, but hey, he's a big guy, man. He's got to fuel the machine. But at the same exact time, you're right. Unfortunately, I didn't know it was 3 season-ending injuries. Well, it sucks, unfortunately. Poor guy, man. He's had some issues staying healthy, which sucks. It's football. It happens. But I'll tell you right now, great athlete. Just unfortunate that, that he's had those season-ending injuries. And, hopefully stays in the league for a long time. And he does great with the Cardinals. But other than that, I totally understand where you're coming from, man. And I think you guys are definitely going to be you're going to miss him, but at the same exact time, hey, you guys move on and you grab some other good players. So with that said, you guys' draft was interesting. Not a lot of picks. You guys didn't have a first or second round. You had 2 thirds, 2 fifths, and 1 sixth. And we'll just get into every one of them. So in the third round, Davis Mills, quarterback out of Stanford. It seems like you guys need some depth there. I'm not sure why, but Nico Collins, wide receiver out of Michigan. You also pick up Brevin Jordan, tight end out of Miami, Garrett Wallow, linebacker out of TCU, and then Roy Lopez, defensive tackle out of Arizona. Overall, what do you think about this draft? I mean, I don't know if you want to really give it a grade. I don't know, if you want to or not. But what do you think?
I don't know. It was a weird draft. I don't think anyone expected a QB first. That was very weird. Remember, we signed Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
We also signed another. We got rid of Asia McCarron, I think. We signed another QB, I think, from the Bengals, some backup from the Bengals. Then cut him like 2 weeks later out of Finley. We got Ryan Finley. We picked up Ryan Finley from the Bengals. Then he got cut. We signed Tyrod Taylor, and then we draft a quarterback, which made no sense at all. So that was weird. I thought for sure we'd go defense first or go wide receiver. Wide receiver to pick up a replacement for Hopkins, or defense to pick up a replacement for JJ. Instead, we went for a quarterback, which was weird. I'm glad we got Nico Collins in the 4th round. I think that should have been the first pickup, though. We didn't address defense till around like the 5th round, I think. I think it was Brevin Jordan, or that was the tight end. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the draft class could have been a lot better. I'm surprised they didn't trade Deshaun during the draft and get those first-round picks back. That was very shocking. So now we have Tyrod Taylor as the starter, a number 1 receiver in Nico Collins, which is good. We got a tight end that might be good. I don't really know. You had Jordan Akins. We have a lot of tight ends. That was kind of unusual. So, I mean, we got other pieces, but I don't think they're the pieces we really needed at the moment. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely think that a wide receiver is going to ball out. Nico Collins is going to be, maybe not as good as Hopkins, but he's going to be a baller. The other ones, I'm not entirely sure. They're just still like placeholders, kind of. So, grade-wise, I'm going to say like a C- or so.
I could see that. I mean, not necessarily the most depth ever, but at the same exact time, I totally get where you're coming from, man. So also we have a first round pick now next year. So I don't know why we signed a QB now when we could. Everyone's thinking we're going to tank this season. We go 2-15 or whatever to get a top 5 pick. Use that pick next year for the quarterback. I don't know why we picked up a QB now
and sign a QB now when we're going to pick up a QB next year. That was confusing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was really, really weird. So with that, you guys also picked up Jeff Driscoll. I think I saw that right now too in the free agency a little bit ago. But okay, so let's take a look at this overall, man, with the depth chart. Okay, so courtesy of ESPN.com, Deshaun Watson, of course, your guys' starter. You guys got Tyrod Taylor back there. Also, David Johnson stays. Philip Lindsay will come on over from Denver. Big time pickup there. I think the guy's a freaking beast. So great stuff there. Mark Ingram is also there, which that was huge. And Rex Burkhead, longtime Patriot. So, I mean, you guys got an amazing set of running backs, I think. Very, very, very good. Brandon Cooks, of course, is there. Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kutsi, I believe, I'm not sure his name, but he's there. Randall Cobb, Anthony Miller. So, pretty solid. Chris Conley, Nico Collins, solid, okay? Wide receiving core. Then you guys have at tight end Jordan Atkins. Your guys' offensive line, Tunzel, Sharping. I think he's one of those youngsters. I think he's maybe a year in, or if not, he's a rookie. I think a couple of years in. But Cole Toner, Marcus Cannon, Titus Howard. Overall, I don't know all these guys. I know I got to get more into offensive linemen, knowing them. But overall, I don't know. So decent offensive line. Then you look at your classic 3-4 defense. Vincent Taylor, Malik Collins, Charles Aminahu. You guys still have Whitney Merciless, pretty darn good. Christian Kirksey, Zach Cunningham, and Jacob Martin. And then your secondary. Burton Hargraves, Eric Murray, Justin Reed, and Terrence Mitchell. Overall, solid. You guys also have Shaq Lawson back there in depth in the linebacking core. But overall, you know what? Solid. Not as good as I've seen in the last couple of years. Once again, I mean, we've seen teams with, I don't want to call this a no-name defense, but we've seen defenses that, have big names that haven't been that great. So I guess the big names don't really matter a lot sometimes. So really when it comes down to it, what are you thinking of this team this year? Now that we looked at some of these players and everything, I'm pretty sure if you want to add anybody else to this, but any of the players I didn't mention, but just tell us, Chris, what do you think of this team coming into this season? What are you looking forward to, and what do you think they'll be able to do?
Well, the team's definitely a lot different, but like all the names you mentioned, like Marcus Cannon, we added a couple of former Patriots, basically the Texans Patriots thing we got. So they're good names, but like they're not big names. I mean, we didn't sign like an Aaron Donald kind of guy. We didn't sign like a T.J. Watt kind of guy. There was no blockbuster trades for the defense. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's still a pretty decent defense. Okay, it might be a top 15 defense maybe. And also, we got a brand new defensive coordinator. I think we got a Lovie Smith. We got Lovie Smith on defense now. So, I mean, we got new defensive coordinators, brand new players. We might have a brand new quarterback. So, there's a bunch of new things going on, a brand new system in place, maybe a brand new scheme. So, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Everyone's got to get on page really, really fast. I don't know. I think the pieces are good, but can they get on page that fast in time for this season? I
agree.
I feel like you're giving some holes. They got I'm not used to this yet. I'm not used to this guy blocking here. So they're going to be good players, but can they be a good unit in time for this season?
I agree. So what do you think? What do you really think? Do you think they're going to be pretty solid this year? What do you think in this season?
I think the defense is going to be definitely a lot better than last year, that's for sure. I'm thinking if they can get like a top 15 defense, we'll be solid. I don't see top 10 yet. That's a bit of a reach. We go from 28th in the run defense all the way to top 10. That's a huge jump and huge expectations. If they can get to the top 15, cool. Because remember, that, in my mind, I think they're going to play for the first-round draft pick. They're going to play for a top 10 draft pick to try to replace Washington. So I don't know if they're going to be winning a lot of games, but if that defense can hold out and hold the opponent to low numbers, I think they're going to be good.
Well, you said to replace Watson. Where's he going?
Well, he doesn't want to play for Houston right now, so I don't know what's going on. He wants to sit out. He's already threatening to sit out. He's not going to do training camp. He's already threatening not to do training camp. And he already said he doesn't want to play this season. So, I don't know. I feel like, if he plays for a little bit, put up good numbers, maybe we'll trade you. If not, we'll get a QB in the draft and see you later.
Well, that's how it goes, man. I did not know none of that. That's incredible. That sucks to think, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. You want them to be happy wherever they are and produce for you. So, yeah, if not, it's on to the next, so it is what it is. So I totally understand. So, with that said, all right, Chris, well, even though your team's a little bit on the downslope right now, what do you think, man? Tell us what you think. This, of course, is always a fun segment. Well, it's all fun, but give us what your thoughts are, man. And tell us about, of course, the other three teams in the division. There's three other ones that you don't like that your team doesn't like and that definitely don't like your team. Tell us, man, about your team, about those three teams this year. Tell us what you think they're going to do this year, and, of course, tell us how you really feel. You can be nice and respectful. You can be mean and nasty or a combination of both. Whatever you like to do, man, let us know. With that said, Chris, stick it to them.
Well, the Jags, I don't see them doing well. They didn't make a whole lot of moves. They're still the same coach, I think. They still know they have a different coach now. They got Trevor Lawrence. That's really cool. The number one pick in the draft. Cool. However, what weapons do the Jags have? They got Laviska Shenault. That's cool. But that's about it. They've got no big weapons. They're basically up like the Texans. They've got no one else there. Like, remember 2017? All right, we got Deshaun Watson. We got a QB. Cool. What happened? He got injured, and we had a terrible losing record. I feel like the same thing happened with the Jags. We don't have enough experience with this guy. We've got no other pieces for the Jags to work with. I don't think he's going to get hurt, but I don't see them getting a winning record. I see the Jags going maybe 5-12 or something. But the Colts, I'm not entirely sure. They're sort of a wild card sort of team because you never know what they're going to do. They could be good. They could be bad. I don't know. They might be the top two teams with them and the Titans. The Colts, I say, probably going to go like 9-8, 10-7 or something, sort of like in the middle there. And then the Titans are going to definitely win the division. I'm saying that right now. The Titans are winning this by a landslide. Not by a landslide, but like I would put all my money on the Titans right now. They've got they got a quarterback. They've got Derrick Henry. They've got they just signed they just signed somebody. Who is it? The new receiver.
The Titans?
Yeah, they just signed.
Yeah, they got Julio Jones, man.
Yeah, Julio Jones and Derrick Henry. Yo, that's insane. That's a deadly team up. I wouldn't want to face the Titans right now. They're going to destroy us. We're going to go 0-2 with the Titans. I can tell you right now, we're going 0-2. The Titans are definitely the best threat in the division right now, unless something happens, someone gets hurt or something, regretfully, obviously. If everyone stays healthy in the Titans, they are going to go win the division hands down.
It's hard. I can't disagree with you. It was a very solid football team, and yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, I'm definitely picking the Titans to win this division. But yeah, man, you guys are, on the up and up, I feel. Last year was hopefully the worst of it. This year will get better, and it'll just keep getting better. But man, the Titans are definitely, the top dog right now in the division, at least what I think, and you guys are good to go. So with that said, man, appreciate you so much, man. Alex, I know you're at the beach. I'm not trying to take all your time, man. You go enjoy your time at the beach today, and have a lot of fun, man. So with that said, thanks again for being a part of our show today, Chris. Where can all these diehard Texas fans find you on Twitter?
Chris_Ketchum, capital C, lowercase K.
Awesome. Well, with that said, Chris, we appreciate you for being here, man. We appreciate your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, man. God bless you and your family. Take care. We'll have you back on the show very soon.
Thanks. See you later.
Hey, man. Take care. See you later. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Ketchum once again. Awesome stuff as always. Big up to him and looking forward to having him back on the show soon. And awesome stuff. So, with that said, you guys, we will be talking coming up next. We, of course, got to finish off the show. 2 more teams in the AFC South. We got 2 down and 2 to go. We're taking our first bite of the AFC week right here on AFC Week on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. So, with that said, y'all, don't go anywhere. Hopefully you're enjoying this. But yeah, a little bit of a spoiler alert. Yes, I'm definitely picking the Titans to win this division. They are clearly the better team by far over the other 3. I mean, yeah, we'll get to that later on in the final weigh-in, but what can I say? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and act like I have like some surprise at the end. Like, no, the Titans are definitely going to win this division, at least I think so, but who knows? Anything could happen, but I guess as of right now, it's definitely who I'm picking. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, the kickoff of AFC week, right here, y'all, on Spreaker.com. It is AFC South Day. Once again, right here on 3 and Out. We will catch you on this side of this break to bring you more AFC South. Right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Alrighty. We just finished up half of the AFC South and, talking Titans with Davidson Crooks and Texans with Chris Ketchum. Here we are now for the second half of this show. Once again, kicking off AFC week right here on 3 and Out. 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC week, AFC South Day right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we had a crazy situation on Sunday, but no need to explain. I'll explain that in the introduction or towards the end. But just letting you know right now, man, this cat right here joining us is awesome. Literally just on a whim, changing up his day just to make this show work. So couldn't appreciate it more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming first timer here on 3 and Out. Hopefully, first time of many. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Die Hard Jags fan. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mike. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing the best I can. Once again, thanks again for taking the time out of your day, man. Really appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, with that said, Mike, let's go ahead and jump on into some Jaguars, man. I know you're definitely a diehard. So let's talk about last season real fast, man. Just give me in a nutshell every thought and emotion from last season as a Jaguars fan.
I'd say it started out as a high. Everybody was excited about the first win when we beat the Colts. It was very promising. Everybody, we've seen the upside. James Robinson, he emerged. Everybody was shocked. So I would say it was a big roller coaster. We had that one high, and after that, it just was hills and valleys. We hung with the Titans. We went to the Titans. I think Minshew had that interception late in the red zone in the game, but we had the opportunity to win that game as well. So it was just a big roller coaster. We always came close, but we never could get over the hump. So.
It's a kick, man. That's a kick in the nuts. You guys, the Jags always. I'm telling you, a couple years ago, man, you guys were rock. You were rock hard, man. You guys were on it. You guys were solid. And it's like, here we go again. So by the way, I'm a Raider fan, so trust me, I know all about the downs. Not very many ups, but I know all about the downs. So
right.
So with that said, brother, let's go ahead and get on into last season, man. So once again, talking with diehard Jaguars fan here, Mike, man, glad to have you here. By the way, the general of Duval and the co-host of For the Sports. Pretty cool, man, covering North Carolina high school, which is really legit, man. HBCU, sports, and culture. I really got to get into this. This is awesome, man. I like this a lot. Maybe you could be on our college show where we cover high school as well, man, over there in the North Carolina area. That's really neat. But, of course, I'll give you your time to plug in a little bit, brother, and to get all your stuff out there. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit non-traditional for me here, not getting everything together, but Mike is calling on a whim, so we want to make sure he gets back soon. We only got 20 minutes with him today, so... With that said, looking at your guys' offseason, courtesy of OverTheCap.com, my goodness, man, some key departures, some key pickups. Marvin Jones heading over to the Lions, the Jaguars, nice pickup. Also, Malcolm Brown from the Saints. You guys looking at Damian Wilson, which I think is absolutely awesome. I'm a fan of Damian Wilson. Good stuff there. Chris Conley, however, departing, going over to the Texans. You're going to have Mike Glennon, which I don't think you guys really care. Now, heading over to the Giants. Chris Mennertz. Going from the Panthers over to the Jaguars, and just good stuff, man. Philip Dorsett is now a Jaguar from the Seahawks. I mean, just a lot of good pickups, man. And then, of course, like I said, some key departures, but there's not a whole bunch of time to get into everybody. But I do want to know, man, what are your thoughts on the key departures and key pickups of the Jaguars this offseason?
I'll say the key additions. The Marvin Jones, he brings that veteran presence to the wide receiver room, which is pretty young, and Philip Dorsett. Even though Dorsett has bounced around, he still can just bring that experience and knowledge to those young guys. We're pretty deep in receivers, so I don't even know if Dorsett is going to make the team. And Shaquille Griffin, I think that's his first name. I think he's pretty good for the defense, secondary, because we struggled in that area, and Malcolm Brown as well. We were close to last in run defense, and with having Henry in our division, we always need many big bodies up front as possible to help out with him. Key departures, I don't think there were too many big names we're really going to miss I can think of off the top of my head right now. But, I think everything is trending in the right direction. I think the proven guys we got will help, and the veteran leadership will help such a young team.
I think so too, man. Might as well just address the elephant in the room when we get to the draft, man. First overall pick, Trevor Lawrence of Clemson is heading over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What happened, brother? I thought Minshew was the man. I honestly did. I'm a Pac-12 guy over here in Southern California, so I really thought, he was a Washington State guy. I thought he was working out. I really did. This is not a sarcastic question at all. It may sound like it. My apologies, but no, man, I thought Minshew was the man, and now you guys are like, nope, kick rocks. We want, of course, who's going to pass up Trevor Lawrence if he had the first overall pick, which I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that'll be your answer, but I just want to go ahead and address that real quick, man. The first overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Like you summed it up best. Everybody said pretty much. I don't say everybody. There's still some fans who out there, Jaguar fans who are on the Minshew wagon, but Trevor Lawrence, if he lives up to his hype, and we're very excited. But Minshew, he was hiding the injury. He was hurt. I think that hurt. It hurt him in the long run because he started playing bad. His height, I think that gets to him a lot because he'll leave the pocket earlier. He'll leave the pocket sooner before he actually looks downfield and checks his different reads. He bails out a lot, which puts the offensive line in a bad situation. Then the chemistry just was off with him and the receiver, and him and DJ Chark. That relationship seemed to diminish. But we still thinking the Jets to this day, and Frank Gore, that job those guys did winning those, I think 2 games they won. Or 1 game, whatever it was.
Man, I'll tell you right now, why not? Trevor Lawrence was there, so why not take him, man? Good choice. So with that said, let's take a look at the rest of the draft, man. I'm not going to address everybody, but Travis Etienne, amazing athlete, man, running back out of Clemson. Yeah, you guys scored running back and quarterback together in the first round. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Tyson Campbell, corner out of Georgia. Walker Little, offensive tackle out of Stanford. Jay Tufile, I believe, I'm not sure his name, but defensive tackle out of USC. That's actually one of my guys because I'm an SC guy. But I'm just saying, man, with that said, overall, what do you think about your guys' draft? And if you'd like to, go ahead and give yourselves a grade.
I give it a B plus. I was on the fence at first about the ETN because, we had James Robinson, but after hearing Urban explain the usage, he's just not a running back. He's going to be used all over the field as a weapon, almost in the Tyreek Hill. We saw a little bit last year with LaVisca taking direct snaps, the Wildcat formation. So he's just going to be a versatile guy. He's not going to be a straight running back. Campbell, I was on the fence about him as well. I was going the Raiders got Hagen, the safety from TCU. I wanted him. Yeah. I wanted him, but you guys snagged him. Walker Little, I heard great things about him from Stanford. They say he's possible could be a starter in the future. With Cannon Robinson being on the franchise tag, he's not guaranteed to come back. So that's saying Little is looking real good in the early season workouts. And I don't know if you mentioned Cisco from from Syracuse. He's a safety we drafted. He actually, I think, led the NCAA in interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. But he tore his ACL, so that's why he dropped so deep in the draft. They're expecting him to compete for a starting job as well. So I like the young guys, like I said, overall. And Trevor has his guy he's been playing with the last 3 years, ETN. So I feel like him having a familiar face in the building will go a long way.
I think so too, man. I think he's your guy. I don't want to be that guy to be like, oh, that's the guy. But come on, man. Herbert jumped in for the Chargers. I think he's their guy. Fields may very well be the Bears guy now that he went there. So I think, man, Trevor Lawrence is a first-round draft pick, man. First overall, I'm just saying, I think he was amazing in college. I just, we've seen it before. I know college players that don't necessarily get to the NFL and transition well, but Trevor Lawrence is special, man. I think he can make it, man. So with that said, let's take a quick look here at this depth chart for the Jaguars. Lawrence, of course, starting. Gardner Minshew behind him. C.J. Beathard, okay, quarterbacks. Then you have Travis Etienne, Jr. Yes, also, man, you guys got James Robinson and Carlos Hyde back there. I like it. It got Dar Ogunjibawale. I don't want to butcher his name, even though I probably just did. I'm sorry to you, man. But yeah, some decent running backs there. Pretty good running backs, as a matter of fact. DJ Chark, yes, I remember seeing him coming out of Colorado State a couple years ago in the combine. Amazing, great stuff there. Marvin Jones, yes, Levitska Chenault. Don't want to butcher his name there, but good stuff, man. You also got Laquan Treadwell in the mix. Philip Dorsett. You're right, man. There are so many wide receivers here. So we're going to see, who can make it where. Chris Mannertz at tight end. Also, we have your offensive line, man. Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, AJ Cann, and Jawan Taylor. I like it, man. Some good big names there, some big boys. You run that classic, I always want to call it the 34 attack or the 34 guessing game defense, because you never know where that fourth pressure is coming from, or where the pressure is really coming from, that is. But Malcolm Brown, let's see here. Tavern Bryan, Roy Robertson Harris. Okay, defensive line. Josh Allen, Joe Schobert, and Miles Jack. Great stuff there. Remember Jack a couple years ago, as well as Clavon Chasen, I believe. The dude, freaking beast. So I'm glad you guys picked up, some big-time linebackers there, some really solid linebackers. And then the secondary. We take a look at C.J. Henderson and Shaquille Griffin. Nice work, man. Gerard Wilson and Rayshawn Jenkins. Overall, man, solid defense. I like it. I won't say this is my favorite defense, of course, in the AFC South, but they're actually pretty solid. You guys are getting better. What do you think right now, man? This team moving forward, what do you think about your Jaguars moving into the season? How do you think you guys are going to do?
I think we got a pretty tough schedule, to be honest with you. What division are we playing? I think we're playing the AFC. No, I'm at the NFC West. So that's always going to be tough with Seattle, the Rams, and Cardinals, and the 49ers. All those teams are always traditionally good, so that's going to be tough for us. But I'm predicting 8 or 9 wins, which I think will be good moving forward, especially for Trevor. His first year, I don't think he asked for much more, and with a young defense and just building chemistry. Urban's first year, he's still learning, the do's and don'ts. He just got fined for OTAs. So I'm predicting 9 wins. I feel like the offense is going to be a top offense with just so many weapons. And if Trevor does get it quick and early and catches on to the NFL speed, I'm predicting Rookie of the Year for him.
I really think so, man. You guys are solid. Very solid football team, man, as of right now. And I think you guys are going to be solid. Like I said, I don't got no deep playoff runs here, and my apologies, man, but I definitely think you're going to be something, Yeah. So, okay. So let's just use this last 5 minutes, man, to have a little bit of fun. This is the quickest segment we've had, of course, ladies and gentlemen. My boy Michael's got to go, man. He's got to step. But like I said, I appreciate you for coming on the show today, man. So real quick, this is always a fun segment where you have a little bit of fun with the rest of the division. Now, I know there's 3 teams who feel a certain way about your team, and your team feels a certain way about those other 3 teams. Hey, man, have a little fun. If you want to be respectful and nice, you can do that. If you want to be mean and nasty, you can do that too. Have some fun, man. Have a mixture of both. Doesn't matter. Tell us how you think those other 3 teams are going to do in your division, and also let us know how you really feel about those other 3 teams. With that said, Michael, stick it to them.
I thought the Houston Texans, so much turmoil and turnover. Certainly Watson. Predicting them to finish last in the division. I don't know what's going on with ownership. Take away, I think it's all with Hopkins and coaching situation and him leaving. It's just been downhill, spiraling out of control ever since. I actually do feel bad for the head coach going into that situation. That's a tough situation to go into. I do have us. Oh, you said the other team. I do have us finishing 3rd in the division, just based on a lack of experience. Colts, I have him finishing 2nd. Carson Wentz, I'm not sold on him. I think he's what's the word I'm looking for? His good days are past him. That injury really just I don't know, did something to his psyche. He hasn't been the same guy since. Season went down on the injury, but I do have respect for him in that offense. They have a lot of weapons. Taylor's in the backfield. He's an up-and-coming, he's going to be a great running back in this league. And Titans, they're the champs until until someone beats them. So, you have to give them credit to the offense for what they're doing. I think they're getting a new offensive coordinator, so we'll see how things go there. But I do predict them to be the division champs much. So I hate to say that. Just got to give credit when credit is due.
Absolutely, man. Titans.
And in addition to Julio, is going to be really going. When we play the Titans, we're really going to find out where we are as a defense because they have the run game and two weapons on the outside with Julio joining the AFC South. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill journey, but I think in the long run we'll be okay. But that's going to be our true test of the season.
I think so too, man. You guys are solid, good football team overall. Like I said, right now, I mean, not great, not spectacular, but you guys are good at the moment. And you're in the league right now in a division with a couple other goods, maybe not so goods, and then a great. So, I mean, that's at the moment right now. So I totally know what you mean, man. There's no secret. The Titans are strong. I definitely got them winning this division this season. But with that said, man, you guys definitely got room to grow, and I love to see the Jaguars back in the playoffs and getting far again, man. So with that said, let us know, man. Of course, Michael, you've been great, man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mike is just joining us here on a whim here of, let's take a look here, of For the Sports Podcast. So show him some love, man. And give them a follow. With that said, Mike, let everybody know, man. Let these Jaguars fans know. Let Duval know where they can find you, of course, on social media, find your podcast, plug anything you want to, man. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Like you said, on Twitter, my page is General Duval. The podcast is _the_sports. It's a new podcast. It's not new. This is our second season we're going into. We kind of rebranded this year. We're focusing on North Carolina high school sports and HBCUs, and just giving those young men and women a platform that they're not typically given, and breaking down who they are behind their play on the field or the play on the court. We're breaking down the actual person and human being that they are, and we're just trying to grow, and y'all support us.
That's awesome, man. That is amazing. I love what you're doing over there, man. I really would like to work with you, man. Maybe throw some sponsorship. You know what I mean? Like somehow, some way. Cross promote or something, some way. That'd be really cool, man. That's a great cause, and I'm loving it, Mike. So we'll talk about that soon, man. But once again, thanks again for being on today's show. Thank you so much for lending us your time, man. Especially when you don't have the time, we appreciate you giving the time. So thanks again, Mike. Appreciate you, brother. Have you a wonderful rest of your weekend, man. And take care. God bless. Talk to you soon, man.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that, once again, Mike got to show him some love, man. Awesome stuff, as always. Jaguars are now completed, and we are heading on up to, let's see, where we are. Over to the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a short but fun segment. Definitely looking for plenty more coming your way. 3 teams down. 1 more to go. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, kickoff of AFC week with the AFC North, right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Motorsports takes many form, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all.
I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out The Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, fourth and final team of day number 1 of AFC week here on IE Sports Radio. Well, of course, on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days right here on IE Sports Radio. Looking forward for this next one, man. He has been gone from 3 and Out for too long. He hasn't even seen how the show, I mean, of course, you've probably seen how the show's grown, but not like a first-hand view of it since we've gotten so much bigger. So, I'll definitely let him know that we've gone on from audio to video for our Primetime Face-Offs, man. So really excited for this whole bit. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back for his first time, I think over 2 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back die-hard Colts fan to represent his Indianapolis Colts. Die-hard Colts fan, Mr. Matt. What's going on, Matt? How have you been, man?
Oh, man, I am ready for the year to begin. Colts camp starts Wednesday.
Oh, my goodness, you guys, man. I'll tell you right now, you guys have been awesome. Like, the Colts have been something else, and it's really exciting to see the direction this team is going in. 2 quarterbacks, a couple different quarterbacks. Andrew Luck retiring in the freaking third quarter, or like at the halftime of the third game of the preseason a couple years back. Rivers stops by. Oh man, that was rough. Rivers stops by briefly and calls it a career. That happens, and I mean, it's incredible to think that Jacoby Brissett. I thought he was the future for you guys, but he's not there no more. And now you guys got Carson Wentz, which. We'll talk about that. So with that said, man, talk about last season. How was it through the eyes of a Colts fan last season?
It looked like a guy whose career it was on the downward spiral, looking like the end of things for him, really. Once Hurts took his spot, I didn't see him coming back to be actually a starting quarterback. I thought he was going to be kind of in different teams, trying to fight for a starting job after, the year he had. But in Indy, we got Frank Reach. He has the chemistry with him already. So I have hope for him. I have a lot of hope. But, yeah, last year was a really brutal one for him, playing through injuries. And that team just wasn't kind of disarray, But, yeah, I have a lot of hope for him. Last year was just super tough. Hopefully we have an offensive line for him now. Got a few more weapons than the Eagles might have had last year. So a lot of hope there. But, yeah, last year was a real rough one for him. But, we've seen bigger comebacks happen.
Hey, and that's absolutely right, man. You guys have really shown to be a team that is just so resilient. And that defense, man, is amazing. I mean, I love what you guys got going over there. So, once again, everybody, talking to Matt, of course. First time back in a couple of years. Glad to have him here talking about his Colts. My apology if you hear any background noise or anything like that. This has been a crazy weekend. It really has. And it's crazy. Yesterday, I'm supposed to get the entire AFC done this weekend. I got 3 teams done yesterday, and guess what? All the rest were today. So this is the final one of the day. So it's going into our evening. My beautiful fiance, as everybody knows, Cecilia, of course, we have our own show now that we'll be getting back to this weekend. But yeah, she's over here getting dinner. We're expecting family over right now. She's got dinner cooking and just and I'm like trying to fit this in. so it's just craziness. But hey, man, got to get the show in and got to make it work. But of course, so you're with us here tonight for dinner, man.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, anytime I can be on the show. Last time I was on the show, the Colts actually beat the Chiefs that game, so maybe it's a good thing. Hey, keep me on the show.
Maybe so, man. I'm telling you, I'm glad to have you.
If we're in the Super Bowl, you better call me.
Hey, right? Seriously, man, we got to have you back on more. Like I said, we got to put you on with High Octane Entertainment, man. That'd be awesome to have you on talking Indiana sports. I'm telling you, I'd love it. I think it'd be great. So, with that said, awesome, brother, let's get right on into the. We talked about the rig last season. But now it's time to get into this offseason. So, Colts free agency, courtesy of overthecap.com. There were so many departures, yet there were so many good pickups. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You guys did not have a whole bunch of really anything. It was kind of a not quiet, but semi-quiet, offseason. So some of your biggest moves, of course, the elephant in the room, Carson Wentz coming over from the Colts, from the Eagles to play for the Colts. Jacoby Brissett going over to the Dolphins. Phillip Rivers called into career. T.Y. Hilton, so happy that he is here. Okay, pretty awesome. Then we have here Eric Fisher
Yes, sir.
the coming on over. I think that'd be nice, a nice addition. Definitely for that, at left tackle. You guys would lose Danico Autry, which is crazy, man, going on over to the Titans, going on over to a rival there. Tavon Wilson going to the Niners. Chaz Green going to the Steelers. However, Isaac Rochelle coming back from going from the Chargers to the Colts. There's so many. Sean Davis from the Steelers to the Colts. All kinds. Andre Brown coming over from the Texans. So regardless, big moves all over the place. With that said, tell us, man, what do you think? Oh, also Sam Tavai, big-time move right there from the Chargers to the Colts. And let me see, Antoine Woods from the Cowboys to the Colts. And I think there was one more big one that I really, really liked. A couple, actually. Let's see. Tremont Smith. That was a tough one going to the Texans. And Malik Jefferson coming over from the Chargers to the Colts. So with that said, I'm not going to name everybody because there's a lot, but with that said, what do you think there, Mr. Matt? How are all of these moves? What are your biggest departures and biggest pickups of free agency, do you think?
Biggest departures has to be Anthony Constanzo at the left tackle spot. That left a major hole, especially bringing in Carson Wentz, who has injury history. That left tackle spot's arguably the most important position on the line, so losing him, steady since 2012, I believe 2012, really, really, really hurt us there. Then, the pickup of Eric Fisher really helped that, but again, he's coming off a pretty brutal injury recently. I think he got hurt in the playoffs, actually. So that's a pretty brutal one there. But hopefully he comes back, as good as he was before. He was having a great year before he got that injury. Right. But like you said, Sam Tevy also coming from the Chargers, that was a nice pickup. He's going to compete for that starting left tackle spot for the first weeks while Fisher is recovering. So hopefully he can step up, being next to Quentin Nelson will probably help him out a little bit. The only concern was kind of his aggression, but he seems to be at least steady enough to make do, next to the other four pretty good offensive linemen. But other than that, Kylan Granson at tight end, I'm excited about that pick because, Trey Burton left us also at tight end. So it leaves us Jack Doyle, who's pretty injury-prone. He's steady, but when he's on the field. Mo Alley has shown flashes at tight end, but a little inconsistencies there. He's very athletic, but just needs to put it all together. But Granson, I hope he gets on the field a little bit more at tight end and see him out. And that Rochelle was another good pickup at on the defensive line, too. That was very important, too. We need some edge rush going on for this season. But losing Justin Houston kind of hurts there, too.
Absolutely, man. So there was so much going on this past season, and it's just insane to see, what went down. So let's take a look at this Colts draft. I know it's a great place to head next, and this draft, man. Overall, like I said, I liked your guys' defense is so underrated. Like, the Colts' defense is one of my favorite defenses in the NFL. Like, it really is.
Fun to watch.
And, oh, yeah, they certainly are. So let's take a look and see some of these guys you guys picked up. One of them, for sure, Kwity Paye, defensive end from Michigan. Next up in the second round, Dayo Adeyingbo, I believe, but I won't sure his name, but defensive end out of Vanderbilt. Kylan Granson, tight end out of SMU. Sean Davis, safety out of Florida. Sam Ehlinger, quarterback out of Texas. A lot of people thought, he definitely was going to be a quarterback that was chosen in this draft somewhere because, the guy, of course, being one of the top quarterbacks in college in the last 2 years, at least 2 years, couple of years. Mike Starkin, I believe. Wide receiver out of Charleston, West Virginia, and then, of course, Willie Fries. I mean, what a cool name, Willie Fries. Especially for an offensive lineman, because, them big boys love their fries, out of Penn State. So, with that said, man, taking a look at all of these athletes, what did you think about your guys' draft? And give them a grade if you'd like.
I liked it all around. Again, Ballard is, doing his thing, kind of drafting players more under the radar than most players. Darius Leonard was kind of under the radar as well. But Kwity Paye, he was I think he was a steal there, falling there. He's definitely what we need. We need some edge rush on that defense. Exciting defense with Kenny Moore, Darius Leonard, and Julian Blackman at safety came on really strong last year, too. So that's definitely going to help. I think our second-round pick, I'm not even going to try that name, Dayo, first name. I'm not even going to try that one. But he has a lot of potential. I don't know if he'll see the field much, but he has great, tools to work with. Then Granson, I'm hoping he gets to see some time. He probably will with Doyle's injury problems. He'll probably be on a snap count. Kind of a count there. More of a blocker probably this year than anything. And Sean Davis, fifth round, that was a very good pick. I think he's a kind of more in the box safety. He probably will see some time on the field with that great defense there.
Absolutely.
But I'm excited about the draft. I'd probably give it a B+ at this point. But, you never know until they see the field with the draft.
Yeah, that's a toughie. That's why I like certain things, man, certain ways in the NFL. I'll tell you right now, I feel like the NFL is definitely a place where it's hard to really give that judgment, man, unless you see them. So sometimes, like, for instance, with the Chiefs this past offseason, who was their first draft pick? Orlando Brown. You know what I mean? They traded away an offensive. They traded for an offensive line. And if you think about it, offensive lineman, the big boy is definitely much needed there. And at least they know what they're getting. They know, what the product they're getting. They could have gambled on a rookie, but instead they went ahead and just took a guy that's been a veteran that's played in the NFL for a little bit, and they're like, yeah, we know he can play at that level. So, I mean, I don't know. I love the draft, but then again, at the same exact time, sometimes it's worth it to gamble away that first rounder if you know the quality of player you're getting and he's in his prime. Are pretty close to
that's why I love the Buckner trade from last year.
Yes.
We could have drafted, I'm blanking the name of who the Niners drafted, but I'm content with Buckner instead of him.
Absolutely, man. I think so. So with that said, let's take a look here at this Colts depth chart right now, man, courtesy of ESPN.com. Carson Wentz, of course, is the man. You have Jacob Eason sitting behind him, Sam Ehlinger, and Jalen Morton. Next up, running backs, let's see here, Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack. Also, we can't forget Nyheim Hines, got Jordan Wilkins sitting back there. Next up in receivers, let's see here, Ty Hilton, Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell. Not too shabby. Good stuff there. Let's see. Who else do we got? Jack Doyle, a guy's been, I think, in Indianapolis for like the last 50 years. So, I mean, I've seen him there forever. Eric Fisher, a big boy playing on the offensive line, along with Quentin Nelson, man. Quentin Nelson, probably the best guard in the game, along with his ex-teammate at Notre Dame, man, Zach Martin. At the Cowboys, just a big-time beastie guard. Ryan Kelly, another beast there. We've seen him. Mark Glowinski, I believe, and Braden Smith. Just overall, pretty solid offensive line. Then we look at the defense. That classic 43 attack defense. Kwity Paye, they got him starting already. DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, and Alquid Muhammad, of course. Darius Leonard, man. This guy is probably one of the best. I love him because, well, he wears the same number I do. I still play football myself. So he wears 5'3", man. That 5'3" is a scary number, man. I'm just saying. So he's a rough, crazy dude. And, well, that's just what it is. Bill Romanowski wore that number, and I'm a big fan of his. So
fun to watch.
Yeah, man. Awesome stuff there. So overall, great stuff there. Bobby I always forget his name, how to mess up his name, but Okririk, I believe. Zaire Franklin, of course, Kenny Moore. While getting into the secondary, Kenny Moore, Kyrie Willis, Julian Blackmon, and Xavier Rhodes. I mean, dude, this defense is like, this is one of my favorite defenses, man. So let's go ahead and talk about this entire team right now. Tell us what you think personally. What do you think this team is capable of doing this season?
This team has almost endless potential, really. It's just how we develop. We've been developing this for a few years now, and we're really finally ready, I think, to start contending. The AFC is super tough, though. I've seen a lot of projections where we end up like second to AFC South alone. That's not even counting the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Ravens, any other teams like that who are on top of the, contending for the AFC too, not to mention Browns. So, I mean, there is a lot of kind of competition in the AFC, but, I mean, we've shown potential to beat these teams already, and we've only, I think, of course, I'm a little biased being, Colts guy, but I think we've taken the necessary progression to beat almost any team in the AFC. So I think the sky's the limit with this team. I think we can make the Super Bowl. That is, a few, things have to work out, such as, big one, Carson Wentz, some of the receivers need to kind of come into their potential, like Pittman and Campbell, especially Campbell coming into his year. He kind of may make or break year this year, but I have the utmost confidence in the defense. Defense I'm not too much worried about, and hopefully Jonathan Taylor can keep on build off his rookie year. If he can get that ground game going, that'll make Carson Wentz's life a lot easier.
I agree, man. I definitely agree. This team is solid, and what you guys got going on is great, man. So with that said, we got that segment pretty quick. I know, kind of crazy. It's kind of a good thing. So I need to get the evening going on here. But no, man, Lisa, I appreciate you stopping by, brother. So let's go ahead and finish this thing off. You have 3 other teams in your division who, your team isn't quite fond of. And guess what? Those 3 teams aren't quite fond of you either, of your team either. Yeah. So this is a little segment I love to call Stick It To Them. Go ahead, man. Tell us how you feel the rest of your division will do this season. And tell everybody how you really feel about those teams. With that said, Matt, stick it to them.
Oh, man. I'm going to take a light on a few of the teams, but the Texans I'm really going to go after, I think. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of Houston Texans. J.J. Watt leaving especially. That was my favorite player on that team, but after he left, I think they're going to be absolutely garbage. I see maybe 1 or 2 wins in their future if Watson doesn't play, which it doesn't look like he's going to. The Titans, they're only going to go as far as Tannehill takes them, which I'm still not 100% complete believer in him, and Derrick Henry has to break down eventually. That defense isn't good enough to really, I don't think, win the AFC South or take them to the Super Bowl. And then, I even almost forgot about the Jaguars. They're almost irrelevant. Of course, they had a decent draft, with Lawrence, but you never know with the draft. He could end up being a bust, which, as a Colts fan, I'm kind of hoping. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of scary for the next 10 years with him in our division. But I just don't see it over there. I don't even think they like Tom Coughlin, who's running the team over there, so I don't see much potential with them. Like I said, the Titans, we've gone back and forth with them a lot. I mean, they have a good team. I got to respect it, but they're not what we are. Fowler's building a dynasty over here, and I just don't see it over there.
Absolutely, man. Well, I totally get what you mean, brother. So with that said, Matt, we've reached the end of the segment, brother, but what do you got to say, man? Where can all these diehard Colts fans find you?
I'm on Twitter, MattSez21, MattSez21, and that's pretty much, I'm just on Twitter doing my sports thing,
Hey, man, like I said, loving what you do. And like I said, I really want to bring you aboard IA Sports Radio. So we'll talk to Justin Lahr about high-octane entertainment, and we'll see how that goes, man, on Saturday. So with that said, brother, we appreciate you so much for being on today's show. Thank you so much for just making the time for us, man. And, hey, God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, wonderful week, man. And we'll have you back on the show very, very soon.
Anytime, my man. Anytime. It was a pleasure being on the show, man. You enjoy your dinner, okay?
I sure will, brother. You take care, man, and have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, man. You have a good night.
Thank you too, man. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do. It's time to power down the Bluetooth speaker here, and that's going to do it for the day. My gosh, it has been a long one, but it's been fun. So with that said, you guys, that will do it for my interviews for the weekend on Sunday night. But that, of course, will do it for AFC South Day, which, of course, is today, which was tomorrow, if I'm talking about it in the future. But you guys get it. Anyway, with that said, you guys, we had 4 great fans today. When we come back after break, I'll come back to talk about my final weigh-in on these 4 teams. It's no surprise I'm already taking the Titans. You guys know that, but we'll talk about that momentarily. Once again, y'all, you're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC week kickoff, of course, day number 1, AFC South Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source.
Can you dig it?
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me Adam Kernan every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? Are you looking for the latest on Northern California sports? Then take a trip out west with me, your host, Gina G, on Reppin' to NorCal Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'll be bringing it to you all the way live every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's always a packed show. I'll bring you everything Dynastic 49ers, the bite of the San Jose Sharks, torture of the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors that we still believe. Then take you across the bay to the rise and grind of the Oakland A's. I've got you covered on college ball from the Cal Bears to the Stanford Cardinal, so that no matter what, reppin' in NorCal sports is always reppin' the Bay. So if you bleed red and gold, or you're looking to keep an eye out west in them thar hills, don't miss me, Gina G, on reppin' in NorCal sports. Catch me every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll have your fandom repped harder than a trio of defenders guarding Stephen Curry before his buzzer beater is Gucci.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all this college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it. You most certainly don't. My goodness, what a week this is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it for all of our guests here on today's show? Man, that was awesome. Just got to give a round of applause for them. My apologies, guys. Doing a million things at once today is a very hectic day. But it has been great, you know. This has been a fun show. Had a few commercial blips in there too, but just taking care of a lot of stuff. But never fear, I'm trying to do my best and stay all over it. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fun one. So, given everybody's takes, overall, we've seen Davidson Crooks very confident, yet very respectful. I thought that was pretty awesome, you know, of his with his Titans, and overall, the guy knows. The guy knows that this team is pretty much dominant, and that's just the way it's going to be. Next up, Chris, a very a team that is a team that is definitely what? Yes, Cecilia, my beautiful fiance, of course, home today working from home, and she sneezed, so I told her, God bless you. But with that said, you guys, a very excited, well, he's not really that excited, optimistic for the future is a good way of putting it. Chris Ketchum talking about his Titans, and, you know, rightfully so. I said it on there, and he didn't disagree with me. He didn't, have anything else to say for the comment, but it's not necessarily rocket science. The Texans aren't looking like a championship team right now, but they're definitely, you can't, weigh anybody out. But regardless, at least at the moment, they're not necessarily, I guess I could say on paper, but, then again, it's, I've had my share of calling them a paper team for a very long time, but the Texans right now aren't necessarily looking like, like the freaking Buccaneers at the moment. So, that's how that goes. Regardless, you guys, I do feel that they're they can be on the up and up, but they definitely need to get there sooner than later, for sure, because with the way this team is looking right now, with the way the Titans are looking right now, you're going to want to take a bite of something, or else they're just going to roll on everybody. Henry's looking great. I mean, they just have a very strong team. So, there you have the Texans. Jaguars, awesome having Mike on the show on a whim, man. He was the real MVP, man, to get everything going last minute. Great stuff there, so thank you very much. And overall, you guys, it was just a rough go this weekend for some of these interviews, but man, we got everything done. So I just want to thank everybody. Can we get an applause real quick? Everybody who was a part of this weekend. It was awesome. This was definitely not as easy as a weekend as last week. Last weekend, we got through it. And really, I'm excited, thank God, that we got through it. So, so with that said, you guys, it has really been a fun one. And some of those interviews I know were a little bit shorter, thus the long commercial break right now. But man, it's pissy. Regardless, y'all, let's go ahead and get on to this final take. Everybody, not a lot of trash talking. It was good. There was some trash talking, but it definitely wasn't like a whole bunch of crazy trash talking. So this was definitely more one of the mild shows, which you gotta love these ones. Because not always is it going to be fiery and crazy, which is a good thing, but certainly just a really cool, ending, if you will, or, to each of these segments. And I'm really blessed and really glad that, everybody was pretty cool this time around. I mean, it's cool when it's fiery too, but at the end of the day, y'all, it was a great show. So, okay, so I'm going to stop rambling because I'm getting the tweets all done and everything. And we're going to go ahead and talk some football. So, there's a lot to talk about in this one, and then there's not. It's a trip. This is one of the most awkward divisions because realistically, I mean, this is God's honest truth. Realistically, this team, I mean, this division is full of 4 teams who are strong in their own right. Now, what do I mean by that? Very simple. The Titans are on their own level. Let's just put it there. The Titans are definitely, I think, of the elite of the NFL. There is no arguing this. And if you want to argue that, then I don't really want to argue because it's a waste of time. Everyone knows how good the Titans are, and they're a team who has really built their way, and I really like what they've done there. Yeah. The Jaguars. I like it. Overall, you guys, the Jaguars are certainly a team they're up and coming. They're not on the Titans level. They're just not. They're not. But they're good enough to be called a team, at least with promise right now, that can be considered a team to watch out for, at least for the first couple of games. And if they start going under, they're going to really quick become like a laughingstock in the NFL as per usual, which I hate to say for the Jaguars, but they'll start to fall apart. But as for right now, they're at least in that league of like you should watch for this team. As for the Texans, I hate to say it, but they're in the trash can right now. There's nothing there that says, hey, we're going to win a Lombardi. It's just not. And especially after I heard from Chris, that Deshaun Watson wants out of there. That's your guys' star. Remember Dabo Swinney a couple years ago from when Deshaun Watson got drafted, saying that whoever passed up on Deshaun Watson in the draft is like passing up on Michael Jordan? Well, the guy's pretty solid. I mean, he's going to do great things. I still don't know if I can categorize him as Michael Jordan just yet, because those are giant shoes to fill. But I'll tell you right now, this team, without him, that's horrible. Because the few wins they might have this season won't exist. As Terrence said earlier in the chat room, will they go 0-16 if he's gone? No, or 0-17. Yeah. I don't want to say it, but they're not going to be far away from that. So right now, the Texans got to figure out. They got some issues they got to figure out before they're even relevant again. And then there was the Colts. Why did I say the Colts for last? So, like I said, you guys got different tiers of team. You really do. The Titans are elite. You got the possible look out for them Jaguars. You have the not happening Texans at the moment. And then you have the Colts, who are like right in between watch out for and hey, we're legit. And those like the tweener teams, the ones that are like, they're almost good, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like they're almost to that point to where, and I'm not saying like good as in relevant, because the Colts are very relevant. It's just they're almost, you want to call them like a competitor, like a good, strong competitor, but then again, you can't. And I mean, that's my apologies to the Colts fans out there. But it's just, it's hard for me to, with the offense they have, not that they're bad or anything, but I just felt like they're going to need, I don't know. Call me an a-hole. Go ahead. Say it all you want to. But Carson Wentz, is he the guy? Is he going to make it happen? It's always that transition when a new quarterback goes to a new team. Sometimes a change of scenery is perfectly great. It's great. It's what you need. Sometimes it's just the player. He's, maybe just not an NFL quarterback. Now, am I going to say that about him? No. But sometimes that's just the case. So, Taryn says here the Colts have the near perfect package. I don't want to say a perfect package, but there's a product on the field that's not bad. It's not great. And it's fighting hard to be good because I think it's a good package. They have lots and lots of great weapons. They really do. They're not last. I'll tell you that. They're not last in the division. And they're definitely on the top half of the conference. But I'm talking about like Lombardi type of caliber. Okay, the Titans are Lombardi caliber. They really are. Okay, the Titans this year, if the Titans are in that Final Four this year in the AFC Championship, it's going to be like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if the Colts are in the AFC Championship, it's going to be like, oh yeah, there we go, underdog. I mean, good stuff. So I feel like the Colts aren't crap. They're not. And I have a feeling that some of you are going to misinterpret what I'm saying and be like, oh, Larry's talking their crap or whatever. And that's fine. Interpret however you want to. It is what it is. I'm just trying to be as real as I can with you guys. I don't see the Colts doing much. If they do make the playoffs, they'll be a one and done in my opinion. I just don't see it. Like with Carson Wentz playing the way he did at Philly. I just don't. Really. I think right now, okay, now Taryn and I, as usual, are going to butt heads here. He says the Titans are not Super Bowl caliber. Yeah. The Titans are definitely, they're much more Super Bowl caliber than the Colts are. I'll tell you that right now. This team is actually pretty solid. This defense, I like it. I wouldn't say that they're like a hardcore contender to win it. But if I had to name, like 5 or 6 teams in each conference that I would say these are the teams who are seriously going to make a run for it, I'm definitely going to put the Titans for sure in that conversation just because, well, they got a lot of good pieces. Last year, they fell off, but, COVID, Darren reminded me of that earlier, was really their fault, and it wasn't. But, so taking a look here at the comments again, Philly was a dumpster fire. Colts are all on the up and up. You can't compare the two. No, but is Wentz really the guy? That's the point I'm trying to make. Philly's they got their own bag of problems over there. They're not Texans territory, but they're definitely not too far away from their neighborhood right now. As for the Colts, they definitely are a better team. But overall, you can't sit here and tell me, okay, you can't sit here and tell me that, the Colts, if Wentz is playing, to that level, if he's just not there, if he's not as competitive. His offensive line is good here, but they're not great. Eric Fisher is awesome. Quentin Nelson, awesome. Ryan Kelly, pretty good. I mean, Galinsky and Braden Smith, okay. They're solid, but it's like he doesn't have 5 months. I mean, he got 5 big boys up there, but I wouldn't say this is an elite offensive line. I mean, we're going to see. Of course, he has some good weapons, and this is a good time to get into the depth charts and everything. Taryn wants to argue some more. He says, if Derrick Henry gets shut down, it's game over. You saw it in the Colts' first game versus the Titans in the wild card round. Yeah, but the problem is it is what it is with the defense. Are we forgetting how good this defense is? I really think this defense is pretty solid, man. Danico Autry is a freaking beast. Hooker, Byard needs to, I think he'll get better, but Caleb Farley, I mean, now they have Bud Dupree. Overall, you guys, this is a pretty solid defense. I'm not going to say they're the best defense in the NFL, But this is definitely a solid defense. Like a solid defense. And then you have a guy like, Rashad Evans here, who's solid as can be. Now, what makes me like the Colts a lot, is their defense. This defense I like a lot too. That's what I'm saying. I want to call them really good. Please do not misinterpret me and say that, I'm saying the Colts are trash, because they're not. I just want to see how Carson Wentz works out. They can go from, at least in my book, being, which is just an opinion, but they can go from, they're okay, to gosh damn it, they're solid. Because this defense is not going to let them down. They're not. Kwity Paye, beast. DeForest Buckner, beast. Okay. Then you got a dude that I love to watch play, man. Darius Leonard, man. The absolute monster. Okay? Or I would pronounce his name, Darius Leonard. The guy is a freaking beast, okay? Secondary is a little suspect, but regardless, this front seven is nasty, and I love it. So, is their defense going to give them a fighting chance? Oh, you better believe it. The Colts, you'll see what I give in a little bit when it comes down to, records. But overall, you guys, it's hard. Terrence says here, Frank Reich effect. Earlier, he scrolled up. I'll take a look here. He says, the Frank Reich effect had an impact on Phillip Rivers. It'll work with Carson Wentz. And I agree. I'm just saying, we don't know yet. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. And I kind of just want to see it happen first. Just because Philly was absolute crap. Is that giving Carson Wentz a bad complex? No. It's just, we seen him play. That's what. All I know is I seen what I seen. I seen him play, and wasn't the best playing. Regardless, it's the system. I get it. But you have guys like Tom Brady that play all-star everywhere they go, no matter what, and then you build around them. Did Philly help out Wentz really? Not really. So I totally get it. I'm just saying that I'm not ready to call the Colts contender until until we can see what actually goes down with Carson Wentz on the field. Overall, they're not a bad team, and the defense is nasty. So, yeah, the Frank Reich effect, I can see that. Terrence says, also the Colts have the greatest kicker out there, Rodrigo Blankenship, out of Georgia. Great player, yeah, respect. Respect the specs. Absolutely, he's got the specs on. And, yeah, Blankenship is a beast, man. So, I just got to tell you right now, it is really tough to say the Colts are going to do better than the Titans. For me, I can't literally say that right now. But let's take a look at the rest of the division. Let's compare and have some fun here and do all the good stuff. So, starting off with the Titans, as you heard me going over the depth chart with each of our guests here today, very simple. Ryan Tannehill. He's not the greatest quarterback ever, but the guy showed he can definitely get it done in Tennessee, and that's all they need, okay? Derrick Henry, monster. Yes, if you shut him down, you shut him down. But you got Julio Jones now. I'm sorry. They have a dude who's going to get open downfield, and don't give me the crap that he's, think about this. There's only so much you can do on defense. I know, I've played defense for many years. There's only so many things you can do when it comes down to just shutting things down. If you're too heavy on the run, you're going to stack the box because, well, damn it, you have to stack the box. If you don't stack the box versus a running team, that running back, if he's that good, that offensive line, they're that solid, they're good. No matter what, it's not the home run you're looking for with a running team. You want the bits and pieces, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7 yards. You want those. You want the bang, 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 bang. And if those offensive linemen are looking for a fight, which they are because they know they got a stud in the backfield, these offensive linemen are going to feed off of that. And they will take drives where they are trying to wear that defense down. Trust me, I know what it's like being on defense, being worn down like that when your defense just, sometimes isn't that good. I've been on all kinds of defenses. Good, great, pretty darn good, decent. Bad, and it sucks. And when you're getting worn down and you're playing freaking, one drive is like 17 snaps, it's really hard. 20 snaps, freaking like that many snaps, and this is a long, long, long drive. You get gassed quick. That's what you want. You want to keep your offense out there. So the Titans are not looking to be that run-only team. You can clearly see A.J. Brown pretty solid receiver. You know what? He's not the greatest out there, but good. Julio Jones is just that guy. He's the Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, who cares? He's older. Whoop-de-freaking dude. Can we get over that? The guy's 32 years old, okay? I'm 32. It is what it is, okay? Yes, he's a little bit older on the spectrum, but Julio Jones is still Julio Jones. So please don't give me that nonsense of he's older or whatever. No, let him do his thing. Julio Jones on the field, guess what? The attention is going to be on Julio Jones. Go ahead and throw man on him. Please do throw man and only have one man over the top. Watch what happens to the majority of corners in the NFL. Please do man cover one. Please do it. And a single safety over the top. This dude will beat that corner for the majority of it, okay? And that fade route, go route, whichever you put, there's gonna be that little window. And Tannehill, he can at least deliver that ball, okay? I mean, just saying, you know. So yes. So do you really think they're gonna stack the box constantly, or try bump and run to try and slow down? That's why they went and got Julio Jones, because now they're gonna make teams respect both the run and the pass. So Taryn, you're absolutely right in the chat room saying that. Yes, absolutely. If you can shut down the run, you stop the Titans. Well, guess what? It's not just the run no more. You have this receiver that's pretty solid. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at everybody else, because anybody else can say, oh, well, Josh Reynolds or A.J. Brown, or, they're not as good as Julio Jones, so you just, get a good corner out there and a good, shut down the run. Oh, my gosh. Apparently, you've never played football. I mean, seriously. You seriously think you have one effing receiver, one really good corner covering Julio Jones, okay? One. Let him stay there. You have, your 3 linebackers or your 4, depending on your front. Or if you're playing a 42 nickel, whichever. If you're stacking the box and you're trying to keep that one receiver contained, guess what? There's more eyes on that receiver because he's talented. And you're really not trying to have that play action happen. Guess what else happens? These other receivers don't suck. They don't suck. They're in the NFL. They're pretty legit. You're going to have your best corner on Julio. Guess what's going to happen? The other receivers are going to start getting lots of love. The tight end, okay, Ferkser. He's not the best tight end in the league, but go ahead. Let him take on some linebackers that aren't that great. I'm just saying, you guys, it opens up a lot. This is why I'm saying the Titans can make a deep run. I know you guys. I'm not in the NFL. Okay, I play semi-pro football. Okay, but I've played this game long enough to know that this is what happens with defenses. You can disguise and do all you want to, but when you have the raw talent out there, a guy like Julio Jones and a guy like Derrick Henry, you know how hard that is to be like, gosh, damn it, what are we gonna do? Like, we're talking strategy on the sideline. We have this dude to cover and we got this dude to stop. We have both of these guys that we have to worry about. Do you really think the attention is going to be on? Of course, you're going to have coverage on everybody else. But, once again, it's just extreme. It's so much harder when you have that much talent on the field. So, like I said, go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, this is from what I see firsthand. Terrence says here, your Raiders will be experiencing the strength of the Colts firsthand. We absolutely will, and they can experience our strength too. We're not no slouches anymore. The Raiders, I can trash them all I want to because they're my team, but we're definitely not a bottom feeder anymore. We're a solid team. Are we going to be great? I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure we can take on the Colts, and it'll be a good game. Okay. It'll be a good game. We can definitely fight them. It'll be a good game. But overall, it just feel like, at least I'd hope, okay? But I'm just saying, you guys, this is what you look for. So this is why I'm saying the Titans are so powerful. The offense is not that bad. The offensive line, Lewan, Saffold, okay. I have really no idea. Ben Jones, Nate Davis, Randons. Overall, it seems like a mediocre offensive line to me. The defense, I think, is going to take care of business, especially with Vrabel at the helm. But if you can see what I mean, you guys, this is what I'm talking about, the Titans being legit. Are they going to be a Super Bowl winning team? I never said they're winning the Lombardi. I just think they're going to win the division, and I think they're going to be pretty legit. Now, Are the Colts going to challenge them? I honestly think the Colts, if Wentz gets there and starts throwing the ball around and starts being legit, oh my gosh, it's a different conversation. But I just want to see it. That's really it, okay? So that's how it goes. Now, that's that whole debate, and this is why I think the Titans are cool. If they start freaking losing games, whatever, come at me all you want, is what it is. I guess I was totally wrong. But once again, that all depends. This is all just speculation, and this is it. But at least from what you see right now on paper, are games won on paper? No, they're not. But at least from what you see how these teams are solid, or this team is solid, and they have a good structure to play on. What they do on the field is totally different, okay? So we'll find out. So, with that said, we talked about the Titans, we talked about the Colts, okay? I really think that both these teams are solid. Will we see what happens? Of course we will. Now let's take a look at the other teams. Jacksonville, a team that, yay! they're coming, I think, I hope. Maybe not. They're the little brother that's straggling along right now, that's trying to come along with the big brothers. They're not. They're not. The Jacksonville Jaguars a couple years ago when they made it all the way to the AFC Championship, that was insane. That was like, whoa, but they had a pretty solid team. Now that team isn't necessarily the best. Regardless, you guys, I like what's going on in Duval County. I like it a lot. Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew. They're going to fight. I love it. They're going to brawl. They're going to go at it in training camp. I know what happened. Taron talking earlier about Gardner. Gardner already being benched. So like I said, if Taron's an insider, I guess. I don't know. But what I got to say about Minshew is he won't let it go without a fight. He's the guy who's coming in. He's like, I'm the veteran here, okay? Just kidding. No, he's not saying that to his teammate. But he's just saying, hey, respect me. I'm going to fight you. I'm not here to just hang out. Max Verstappen said that I think it was Coda a couple years ago, the Circuit of the Americas. Look at him now, he's winning like crazy in F1, in Formula 1. But why am I bringing him up? Because I remember a comment he said where they were telling him to hang back or whatever, and he was like in 4th place, I think, or 4th or 5th place, and there was the last couple of laps. I said, hey, Max, over the radio, like hang back or whatever, and he was like, no, I did not come all the way over here to the United States to get 4th place or 5th place. Absolutely so! Oh my gosh, no, I didn't put on these pads today to be second man. I'm sorry. Now, if that's how it turns out, he gets beat. It is what it is. Okay, Trevor Lawrence is a monster. I really enjoy his football. This kid he's solid. Am I going to hype him up to be the next freaking Tom Brady? No. I'm just saying he's a good player. The guy has a great IQ. He played for a very good winning football team in college. I like him, guys. I really do. I think he's a good young man. He seems like a very good young man. And you know what? I'm really excited to watch him play football. There's no shade thrown here. There's no question marks. I just want to see him play football. If he goes out there and he's a total bust, then he's a total bust. I don't think he'll be. But watch him go out there and be decent. I want him to be decent. I think he will. If he goes out there and he's an all-star, then he's exceeded expectations from at least a fan like myself. Now, to somebody else who's like, oh my gosh, he's a second coming to Tom Brady. Okay, stop. Because if he is, cool. But if he's not, you're going to slam him and crucify him because, what, he's not what you expected? Because he's a 21-year-old kid who's just making his path into the NFL? Okay, real mature. But I tell you right now, I want to see him play good. He seems like a solid, good player, and I'm really excited. Taryn says in the chat room, Minshew Mustache Mania. Oh, man. We should have Minshew Mustache Mania week here on IE Sports Radio when we all broadcast with StreamYard, and we all wear a mustache, a Minshew mustache. I'm just kidding, but yeah, some of you would be so down for that. But anyway, I love it. So you have players like Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew who are definitely going to be competitive. Travis Etienne, yeah, awesome, I love it. This young man, Lawrence's teammate, he's a good player, man. 5'10", 215, he's solid, good running back, good size. I mean, he's a little shorter, but I don't give a crap, I'm short too. So, you know what, great athlete, man. I like it. I like his running style. If this offensive line give him some holes, you know what, man, the Jaguars could be middle of the road. I'm really not going to get too crazy and be like, they're going to win 10 games. No, especially when you have the Titans in the league and the Colts who literally just, I mean, they really, really could be. They could win the division. Like I said, it all depends on Wentz. Which I'm not doubting him, as I'm saying, but it just depends. If he gets out there and starts swinging the ball around, oh crap, But overall, I don't think forever that. Yeah, but I'll tell you right now. Oh yeah, there you go, Terrence. Sorry. Yeah, ETN. But yeah, at the end of the day, man. This dude is a freaking beast. I love watching him play football. He is going to be solid. Then you have guys like DJ Chark out of LSU a few years ago. We didn't even know LSU was, had a receiver because they didn't pass the ball very much. They did, but overall, solid football player here. Marvin Jones, yes. Laviska Shenault, yeah. Good stuff right there, man. Young men out of Colorado. They're solid. Dorset, as we heard Mike say, he didn't even know if Dorset's going to make the team. There's Pharaoh Cooper, Colin Johnson, Jalen Camp, just lots of receivers, and then, really, I just say, as you once said, I got you, huh? Yeah, absolutely, Taryn. Thanks for having my back, too, man, with that pronunciation. But overall, there's some good players here. Offensive line, yeah, they're cool. They're cool. I don't really think this is of course, anybody can get better at any given time. But as, from just, watching and everything, they're good. They're good football. They're I can call them a good offense. They're not terrible. They're not. But they're not a championship caliber offense or a division winning, at least in this division, winning offense. So they're cool. Defensively, all right. I like the defense. I do. Are they great? Not really. But are they pretty solid, and can they build a lot? Yes. Okay. Clavon Chison, or however you pronounce his name. Good athlete. I like this guy. Miles Jack, they got him a couple years ago in the draft, and he's as advertised. I want to see him, really come into his own, but solid. So you have guys that are pretty, okay. Brian Brown, Robertson Harris, defensive line. They're cool. What I like the most is C.J. Henderson and Griffin, and like I said, Chison and Jack. Good stuff there. Josh Allen, Joe Schobert. But, good. They're good. Jenkins, Wilson, good. Are we looking at a team here who's going to shut everybody down and not allow any points? Well, of course not, because even for the best defenses, that's literally impossible. Unless they're insanely good. But you get what I'm saying. They're going to be okay. They're going to be middle of the road defense. Not bad. But in the NFL, you can't really be middle of the road and expect anything. Or expect any championships. So I feel like, at least I don't think so. So, okay. But then again, I think they're better than this next team. And I hate to say it, but the Houston Texans. So, real quick, by the way, to everybody, I went ahead and put up the voting poll for the Stick It To 'Em segment. A little bit different, like a little mild, a little more respect. So you can even do that. They won the Stick It To 'Em award this week, or the voting poll, because they're respectful. You can do that, and of course, it's of course at 3 and Out on IE Sports Radio. You can go over to 3 and Out, all spelled out, IESR. Once again, 3 and Out, all spelled out, IESR on Twitter, and scroll down, find the voting poll, and vote for your favorite Stick It To 'Em segment. And then, of course, you can go on over to the IE Sports Radio voting poll, or IE Sports Radio at IE Sports Radio on Twitter. Scroll down, and you can find the voting poll for who you think is going to win the division. So we'll have that announced in just a little bit. But overall, going back here to the Texans. Okay, I don't want to sound like an a-hole. I don't. So please, nobody out there. I'm just disclaimer alert. Okay, I'm not an a-hole. I'm not. At least I try not to be. This is it's gonna sound mean, but it's not. Deshaun Watson. He wants out for some reason. What is it? When you're starting quarterback, I get it. Sometimes they're prima donnas. I understand that. But he wants out. I would like to know why. I know Chris probably told me earlier, and Taryn, find out why. Help me out in the chat room, Taryn. Tell me why. But overall, Deshaun Watson, Chris just says it, is not, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, how he's feeling or whatever. But regardless, Deshaun Watson, is it a seller thing? We're talking with Blake and Brennan on Bases Loaded last Thursday. We're talking buyers and sellers in the MLB right now because they're close to the deadline. Are the Texans just a seller right now all the way around? Are they just getting rid of all the best talent they got to try and rebuild and get some draft picks and rebuild this team? Is that what's going on? And is that why Watson's like, hey, you can tell me because you're tearing this team apart and it sucks? And, I don't know. But for some reason, he wants out. Okay, If he wants out, he wants out. Earlier, Taryn suggested, and I think this is pretty good. Taryn in the chat room, I'm going to scroll up real fast. Taryn suggested that Watson go to, let me find it. Hold on. I got to find it somewhere. Gosh darn it, where is it? I know one of them was Washington. And dude, would that be a great place for him to land? I think that'd be pretty legit. If he went to Washington, oh yeah. Now we're talking. Hey, because that defense is nasty. Oh, I love that defense. But, where is he going to end up? Or if he goes somewhere. So let's see here. Taryn, gosh darn, I can't find it. Can you please? Okay, Watson to the Eagles. You know what, Taryn? I like that. I like it. The Eagles have a lot of work to do. That would be a good start. Jalen Hurts, we're going to find out. It's the same thing with Jalen Hurts, you guys. I got to see him play. And I know we've seen him play a little bit, but I got to see more of him before I can really be like, yeah, they're good, So I guess it's not the same thing with the wins because I think he's a little bit better. But he's needing a different direction from the Eagles. He needed to get out of Philadelphia, and that was a good start for both sides, both for Philadelphia and for Carson Wentz. And they made the right choice. But Terrence says here, Deshaun Watson is just over being on the Texans. They traded D-Shop, of course, Diop, of course. I don't know, but they traded them. J.J. Watt left. The Texans kept losing left and right. Absolutely. It's true, man. I wouldn't want to be there either. What are we doing? Why are we getting rid of this dude? He's actually really legit. Why are we getting rid of him? Are we talking rebuild? What's the situation? I'm an NFL player. I'm only going to be here for if my career goes really, really well, my goodness, I can play for maybe if I'm like Tom Brady, 20 years, But guess what? I could also be here for 12 or 14, It could be a little shorter than that. I need to spend my best years somewhere where I can be remembered and be a star. You know what I mean? Like that kind of deal. So I don't blame you at all, Deshaun Watson. Yes, you do your thing, brother. You want out, you get out and go somewhere. Or you can make a difference and make something happen before it's time to retire. Yes. So am I making that a little too urgent? Yes, because he's not old. But I do feel like, yeah, he kind of needs to go somewhere where he can, have that talent. And he's, like I said, I wouldn't call him Michael Jordan just yet, the way that Dabo Sweeney explained him. But the guy has the potential to be that. And I'm not going to knock him. Okay, so still that play against the Raiders. I forgot what he did. That little crazy. It was a little pass. What happened when he was getting sacked? Crazy. But regardless, Terrence is here. Watson to the Eagles. That's a good pick. Like he said earlier, that's good. We were both talking about earlier. Watson to the Saints. Hey, that's pretty solid. Breeze is on his way out. Breeze just left. So that's pretty legit. Good, solid foundation for them. For at least for him on that offense. And a pretty solid defense, too. Pretty good defense. Watson to the Giants? Question mark. Ooh, Watson to the Giants? That's yeah. I like Daniel Jones over there, but once again, it all depends on what happens and what they do, and where they feel that he should be. So overall, good player. Good player. I like Daniel Jones, but imagine if Watson was over there with that defense. Now we're cooking with gas. That's actually a good landing spot for him. So Taryn also says Hopkins. That's what I meant. Yeah, of course. Texans should have fired Bill O'Brien after the Texans blew a 24-0 lead to the Chiefs in the divisional round. Yeah, I didn't remember that, but yeah, not a good thing to do. Blowing leads is not fun. So absolutely. So there we go. So next up we have here. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so overall, you guys, just some rough stuff overall for the Texans. As a matter of fact, Bill O'Brien should have been fired at halftime of that game. Yeah, I just feel like it's. Oh, he said after the game first. Now he says at halftime. But yeah, I agree. It's not the easiest route. But right now they made some moves. They got 4 really good running backs. David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, and Rex Burkhead. Good. They got a good core running backs. They just, need an offensive line because they only have 1 or 2 offensive linemen who are legit. Once again, I don't know offensive linemen too much, but I just got to tell you right now, solid. Okay, they're at least their running backs and some of their line solid. They got Watson, solid. Okay, they got a few receivers: Randall Cobb, Anthony Miller, and Brandon Cooks. Okay, they're not bad, but they're not good. I mean, they're good. No, I'm saying like as a total, like those players, yeah, pretty legit. But as a whole, with their entire offense, not really excited for them. Then we're looking at the defense here, and you're gonna have some of the I guess you can say some of the pieces after they let go of Watt. That sucks, but Merciless is still there, beast. Okay, Charles Menahu, still a beast. But overall, I mean, they're good. I know there's some great players. There's some good players on this defense. Shaq Lawson's there now. But they don't even have him starting. They have Jacob Martin starting over him, which is understood. Should be a good battle in training camp. But overall, okay. Terrence Mitchell, Jefferson Reed, Eric Murray, Gordon Hargreaves. Okay, cool. Good secondary, or cool secondary. Martin, Cunningham, Kirksey, Whitney, Merciless. Merciless is a monster. But you get what I mean. Okay, Vincent Taylor, Malik Collins, Charles Menahu. Okay. They got pieces to rebuild off of. They're not total trash, but they're definitely, in my opinion, not the cream of the crop in the division. So, you guys, I just want to say that this division is not extremely hard to pick, at least for me. I can't sit here and be like, hey, we have a really tough battle, unless, like I said, Wentz comes out and does great things, which I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying I want to see it. But overall, you guys, I feel like right now they're pretty okay. They're solid. Can they win it? Of course. Watson to the Falcons. That's a good pickup as well, Terrence. So taking a look here at the stick it to them. Everyone's favorite stick it to them was Davidson Crooks, 56%. Next up was Chris Ketchum, 22%, Mike with 11%, and Matt with 11%. So good job to Davidson Crooks, everybody, for winning the Stick It To 'Em award. Nice and respectful. Wins it sometimes. Not all crazy and fiery sometimes. Crazy. Wow, what a word. So with that said, you guys, let's take a look here at who you think is going to win this division this season. And here we go. So, alrighty, and wow, you guys really, well, here you go. I stand corrected at least. I mean, I'm still taking the Titans, but 42% of you are taking the Indianapolis Colts, 29% of you are taking the Tennessee Titans, 29% of you are taking the Jaguars, and 0% are taking the Texans. Well, I think that worked out pretty well. That makes a lot of sense for me. So, but yeah, it could be between the Colts and Titans. I definitely agree, but I'm going to be on the other side of that. I just got to say right now, overall, that's what it looks like. So Terrence says here with his little face, yeah, I don't know. You guys are on the Colts, and we'll see. That's all I got to say is we'll see. But I got to take the Titans in this. I just can't not take the Titans. So, but here we go. So final weigh-in is basically weighed in. And Terrence, if those people are smart for picking the Colts, well, we'll find out when we'll find out when the ball is put on the turf and those snaps get going, man. That's what we're gonna find out. So with that said, y'all know the deal. It's about time for that final weigh-in. Cue the music, cause we're out of here. All right, y'all. You guys have spoken. Darren has spoken. This division is very simple for me. 4th place, the Texans will win between maybe 2 and 5. 2 and 5 games this year. I don't see much happening if Watson isn't there. If they win, I think Watson stays. I mean, that's important. I'm just being a little joke for that, sorry. But they'll win maybe 5 or 6 games, but they're not going to win very much more than that. Even with Watson, maybe 7, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'm going to say 5 to 6 or 7 games. After that, it's plain to see the Jaguars are solid. They have a solid foundation, but they're definitely not that premier team that they need to win this division. So they're going to be in third. I'm going to have them between 6 and 9 wins. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 6 to 8 wins, if that, but definitely on the lower range of that spectrum. Next up, we'll see. You guys like the Colts? I like the Titans. I'm going the Colts between 8 and 10 wins. All depending on how Wentz plays. And then the Titans, I got them still not extremely crazy good, but I have them for sure at least being a strong contender in the playoffs wherever they go. And with Julio Jones now, they're going to win some. I got them between 10 and 12 games. And that's just how it's going to go. That's how I think. Darren has it. We've had the same thing. We've had the Broncos, Colts, Titans. Darren says Texans, Jaguars, then the Titans, then the Colts, and then the first. So there we go. So we'll find out. That AFC South is fun to talk about. But with that said, y'all, that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you everybody in the chat room before my boy Darren, man, Town, Brandon, all the cool people in here today. And of course, appreciate everybody for being on the show, all of the guests. And that is going to do it. With that said, y'all, we got 4 teams down in the AFC. And my goodness, 20 down in the NFL. We have 12 more teams to go. They're all AFC teams coming up tomorrow. Bringing you the AFC South. Wednesday, we'll be talking AFC West. Oh, sorry, no. Tomorrow, of course, talking AFC North. My apologies. Wednesday, talking AFC West. And Thursday, we're talking AFC East to close out AFC Week. Dennis, it's a great show there with you all. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thanks for being in the chat room, making it better. With that said, y'all, that's going to do it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow, Taryn. See you guys tomorrow, guys. Talking AFC North. That's going to be a fun show. With that said, you guys, I'll see y'all soon. As always, big ups to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. So, reach out to the man, giving us all we got. We all got. So, that's it, y'all. I will see you soon. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.